Well, guys, we are back for another episode of the Liberal Asshole Show, episode 115. And what are today's topics?
Trump wins in shocking comeback. Who should be the Democratic nominee in 2028? Dumb Leftists mad at Bernie for doing something right. Dumb fuck Republican gets banned from CNN and by threatening to murder Mehdi Hassan. Vile evil animals want to rape women and girls on Twitter. Taran Kasparian versus Jen Kuger on Trump being a fascist, and how fascist is Trump?
Oh boy, some funny topics and some really disgusting ones we're going to be covering. So, let's get to the main topic, of course. And that, of course, was a few days ago was the election. And to my shock, although I guess not to you because you said you weren't sure, Trump won in re-election. So, he'll be the first president since Grover Cleveland to lose an election and become president right afterwards. And the results are still not fully finished. There's still Arizona up for grabs, but Trump got...
Looking like it's going to go to Trump.
Yeah, because it's like 83% reported, and he's gotten 52.7% of the vote. And I remember it's climbed every time I saw. I remember one lowest last I saw was like 50-something, and it's going up every since.
I remember at
Nevada,
it was like 0.5% between them.
Yeah, Nevada is the one that's the last state reported. His lead shrunk big time. He had 53%. Now it's barely 50.7 at the moment. But that was already called today. So there's still one state up for grabs, but it doesn't matter. Trump got the electoral vote, 301 votes. And right now, although people lie about it on Twitter, right now he has the popular vote lead at the moment.
Yep.
But remember, there are still a lot of votes not counted in yet, people. Like California, the most populous state in the country, only has 63% reported. So there's still almost 40% of the votes come in. So Kamala might turn around and maybe take the lead. We don't know. We gotta wait and see on that. So he has right now a 50.6% popular vote lead. And idiot Trumps were like, "Ugh, this is a blowout. Trump won a landslide." No,
he didn't. He won by basically He won by the margin he won against Hillary and lost against Biden.
And the thing is, even if he gets Arizona, he still won with less electoral votes than he did against Hillary. So he actually won closer to Kamala than Hillary. So how about that one, dipshit? And a popular vote, right now, he actually beat his votes from 2020. So he has the second most votes of all time compared to his 2020 run.
But not by much. Yeah, and Harris lost 12 million votes.
Yeah. So it's not really that Trump won. It's more of Hillary, and more important, Democrats sucked. Basically, 2016 all over again.
Yep.
Which is very pathetic and all that. And of course,
absolutely.
I remember for like the last 2 years I said like Trump wasn't going to win and all that because I thought... Because in 2016, I did think he was going to win because Hillary was so bad and Trump was such a wild card and all that. He never ran before and all that. And I thought he actually had a chance, and I was correct on that. And I thought this time around, because, let's see, compared to 2016, he was a horrible president, COVID, denying the election results, which he still denied to this day, and we're going to get to Kamala's reaction after losing, January 6th, Roe v. Wade, all the indictments and all that. Trump had so many issues that were so undeniably bad that I thought that this time it was just going to be too much for him to overcome, that no matter what, and such. But, unfortunately, people ignored it, just like they ignored all his racism and stuff in 2016, because they feel like the economy isn't going good enough for them. So, of course, Trump won. He performed very well with men. He performed well with Gen Z very much. You can
thank all the grifters making a culture war out of every single TV show and movie for that.
Even though most Americans don't give a fuck about that shit, you dumb cunts. How about that one?
Gen Zers do.
So he won. He got like 47% of Gen Z men, for crying out loud. He did better with blacks. He won like 10% of Hispanic men compared to Kamala and such. Like he performed.
Remember well that most of this was 12 million people, most of the minorities not coming out to vote.
Yeah,
because they hated Kamala that much.
Yeah, that's what.
What we see is that Michigan went to Trump because because of Biden and Harris's support, or at least Biden's support of the genocide in Gaza and the continued war across, well, probably across like 5 countries.
Well, since you brought that up, because I already know people are going to blame this. No, third parties and Jill Stein did not cost the election. Trump won. It's Trump. Yeah, Trump. You can't blame third party and Jill Stein for this. Trump won such a blow-up fashion in comparison to them that even if you add all the Green Party vote to Kamala, she still would lose in all these states. So no, you can't blame third parties because they don't cost elections, you dipshit. Like I proved y'all wrong in 2016, remember that. So now I'll get back to the point. Yeah,
80,000 votes difference between Trump and Harris, and Jill Stein only got 40,000.
Yep, it's not going to be enough.
Cornel West got 6,000. Yeah, I'm just trying to calculate here. 44, 52.
And that actually got me thinking of another thing, too. You know what's stunning? Mm-hmm. Jill Stein, the Green Party, got more votes than the Libertarians this year.
Yeah.
The Libertarian Party freaking died in comparison. Oh my goodness. What happened, Libertarians? You're supposed to be the actual legit third party unlike the Greens, and they did better than you. Embarrassing. So yeah, you were doing your vote count and all that. So
yeah, not even close. Yeah. Robert Kennedy got more votes in Wisconsin than Jill Stein by 5,000. She got 2,000 more than. Hang on, I'm gonna do 2024. I'm just gonna put up.
So yeah, another thing is the reason why Trump won such big margins for like men and all that, and his increased role in minorities, is because less people turned out to vote. People, at least so far we know, because the votes are still coming in. Maybe Kamala could pull off the comeback because Trump's lead is shrunk over after his election was called. I remember like his highest, I think, when he won, he had like almost 53% of the vote. Now it's just 50.6%. His lead is shrinking. So when all the votes come in, maybe she can come in closer, maybe take over. But you gotta wait and see, people, and all that. But no, it's not like, Trump, there's a realignment going. All the minorities are going to vote Republican now. Nope, they hate Republicans. And also the majority of Americans hate Trump. He has
yes, Ruben Galley, it looks like at 82% of the votes counted, it's looking good that Ruben Gallego is going to see off Carrie Lake.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. While we get to that, let's get to the other results, too. The Senate election, unfortunately, Republicans won the Senate. They gained 4 seats, and even worse, they freaking beat Sherrod Brown. Why? Sherrod Brown was base. Why did you all let him go, people? Come on. Ohio, why'd you fail us this badly? He was good senator. Why'd you let him lose? How dare you? One of the base people we had, you let him go just like that. And yeah, like you said, Carrie Lake, it's still being reported in Arizona, but she is losing right now, which is very good. That stupid cunt needs to go, and all that.
Which is good.
Now, the House, however, is still up in the air. Republicans right now gained 2 seats, but as of the moment, no one has the lead yet, 212 to 200. So Republicans don't have the House yet, so it's still possible Democrats can get it at the moment. Which
give me a moment. I'm going to do something. Okay, so we got left. We got Maine. And what's the current numbers? It's 20 what?
It's the Republicans have 212 and Democrats have 200. And the Democrats lost 2 seats so far.
Alright, let's step down here. Main one is main second district. That's ahead. That's 201. That one will say goes. That one's so knife edge.
Probably gonna be a while before we found this in Arizona.
I'm doing test checks here. Colorado.
And I guess while you count that up, I could say one good thing about us in Maryland: Larry Hogan lost his Senate bid. Let's go!
Awesome!
Fuck that motherfucker. He was a horrible governor from 2015 2023, and it's good to see he lost. Good riddance. Go fuck yourself. And thank you, Ashley, to replace Ben Cardin coming up in January. That fucker needed to go so badly, too. A base Democrat replacing a piece of shit Democrat. Let's go. And all that. So I guess you're still counting and all that.
What I'm hoping is that it looks like the Republicans are only just going to fall over the line in the House, which means that they're going to be It's just going to be more time of them just constantly fighting over each other.
So you think the Republicans will get the House, but overall they would lose seats from last time, you're saying?
They'll probably have about the same. They might even only get the 2 that they have now, and that's it.
But it will be... So, we don't know yet. Democrats could still get the House, and even if the Republicans get the House, it could be low enough where all the Democrats are going to oppose Trump on, like, everything, or at least you hope all of them would, and hope no fuck-ups and all that. Because, hey, Manchin's gone, Cinema's gone. Well, actually, I think Cinema... Wait, is Cinema still up? She's not running anymore, but I don't know if her term's up yet.
No, she isn't.
Okay, so she's gone same time with Manchin. Well, good then. Thank God. And all that. And people are crying, Manchin's gone, so we got a Republican in West Virginia. Fuck, who cares? He was a Republican already, so what difference does it make?
He was a Republican.
Yeah, so what difference did it make?
Republican, so he's a dino, so...
Yeah, it was no different. So yeah, overall, Trump won. He didn't win. Kamala lost. And the Democrats lost. And now, why did they lose?
And did lose. Well, because they were corporate. Because they were corporate shitheads. They tried to be Republican light, and that never fucking works.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things to it. First off, we need to get the bullshit out of the way. First off, people assume, she lost because she was a minority woman. I honestly...
It probably didn't... I'm going to say it probably didn't help.
I don't think...
It didn't help.
Go on.
As I said, I don't think it helped. Harris wasn't... It was nowhere near... It had nowhere near the baggage of Hillary, but she's still lost.
Yeah, which I'll get to in a bit. Yeah, I don't think it had any impact whatsoever. Like, yeah, there are racists and misogynists, but the electorate's not... America is not that racist and misogynist that a minority woman can't win. I mean, Obama won twice for crying out loud. And he had to deal with overt racism, probably more than Kamala did. So, I think a minority woman could win. It's just they need to be good and all that. But, of course, another thing, too, is... Well, we'll get to stats in a little bit. Like, there are some differences. Like, people kept, like, comparing her to, like, Hillary and all that. No, she's not as bad as Hillary. One, she actively campaigned in states that she needed to win. Unlike Hillary, who assumed all the states were going to go her way. And the funny thing is, I think when I looked up, is that she actually did better in the swing states compared to Hillary. She did worse in all, like, the bluer states and all that.
But that didn't matter.
Yep.
And, not matter. It didn't matter because it wasn't enough.
And she doesn't have, like, she isn't as uniquely hated as Hillary. She actually proposed good policies, unlike Hillary did in comparison. And here's the thing, too, guys. When you look at all the stats, the economy, because this is the main reason why people voted for Trump. The economy is so bad right now and all that. But here's the thing, guys. You're wrong. The economic stats are all show that we are better off under Biden the last 4 years than Trump. Do you all remember?
Corporate hate, of course, the pro-Trump corporate media, which is basically what all corporate media is at this point.
Yeah, we're gonna.
They will never do. They will never acknowledge that because they're in it for Trump.
Yep, and that's another thing too. We'll get to that in a little bit. So all the metrics say we are better off. Remember COVID, people? Do you remember how bad it was when Biden first came in? When we had to deal with COVID? Now we don't have to deal with that? That is automatically better than what we had under Trump. Are you all that stupid to forget about that already? Because I sure don't.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, because you're all fucking stupid.
Yes, they are, apparently.
Inflation. Inflation is 2% right now.
2.7%.
Oh, sad. I looked up, say 2.4. But it's nowhere near as high as it was at the beginning. And it's all Trump's fault it was that high because he fucked up COVID. You fucking idiots. Biden fixed it. Wages are going up. And they've gone up even more in the last few months right now.
Which is really good to hear.
And manufacturing, which something Voss is not going to like hearing, is roaring back now. We're industrialized again. Once again. Yay! So,
but remember though, that Bush is a CIA agent, so of course they don't want manufacturing back here.
Yep. So, yeah, guys, all the metrics say we are better off now than we were under Trump. That is the facts. They're not debatable. If you say otherwise, you're just wrong. But here's the thing, though. Even though Americans are wrong to think that, the problem is they still feel that, even if they're wrong. And if they feel they're not doing better, then all the stats doesn't matter. And that's something that the Democrats, once again, like in 2016, failed to recognize. They don't promote themselves. They let Republicans shit on everything they do when they lie, and they never provide a counter argument. And they go right-wing. Like, let's see, 2020, the first 2 years, Biden actively promoted like his policy and all that, and that was a big reason why Democrats did better in 2022. Remember when all the polls said that they were going to lose in a blowout because Republicans fucked up so bad. But after that, nothing really. They didn't talk about anything. And then let's see the other problems. They went right wing on immigration. They completely abandoned all progressive policies when it comes to immigration. You're not going to outright Republicans on that, and you're not going to get Republican votes because you're right-wing on immigration. They're going to always go Republican no matter what. So advocate for progressive policies on that. And then also, the Hamas-Israeli war. You pissed off a lot of people on the left that you need to win because you refuse to stop Israel from genociding the Palestinians. When we say you need them to stop, you force them to stop. End of discussion.
Cut all shipments, and you tell them stop, or you will be in big trouble, or things will get worse for you.
Yeah, and remember, the vast majority of Democrats want a weapons embargo on Israel. Your whole party wants it. You instantly cave to that, and the majority of Americans, even Republicans, want there to be a ceasefire. So you force Israel and Hamas to do that. That's the end of it. But they would not do it, and that's also another reason why they lost. Another reason is that they, like you said earlier, they courted Republicans. Just like that's the one thing Kamala did that was just like Hillary.
Stupid.
They courted Republicans. Like they promoted like Dick Cheney and Liz Cheney and all these Republicans like me all that. That doesn't work though. Like, dude, that
backfires.
Yeah, we saw the polls. You did worse with Republicans than Hillary did, for crying out loud, just barely.
Exactly.
Like Republicans are not going to support you. Like the never Trumpsters, they're still a minority of the party. It's not going to be enough. Exactly. You need to cater to
and
us.
We need to make the corporate Democrats 0%.
Yeah.
To be brutal. Yeah.
And then another thing too is you're not going to win on just we're not Trump. That worked with me enough to vote for you all, but that's not going to be enough for people. As we saw in 2016 and now here, no matter how bad Trump is, if people feel like they're struggling, they're going to ignore anything he does for some sort of change. Because you guys need to change. You need to become progressive, and that's the end of it. So,
exactly.
Now, of course, we also need to cover other things, too. Because, oh my gosh.
Oh, one thing I got to say is that because of losing this election, the corporate Democrats and corporate Democrats deserve everything that happens to them over the next 4 years that's negative.
Mm-hmm.
Every indictment, every
like they did in 2016.
Everything.
Yep. They deserve every single thing.
Everything.
And remember, here's another group we need to blame. Democratic primary voters, especially in 2016 and 2020. Because if all of you, and DNC too, because they rigged against Bernie in 2016. If all of you just voted for Bernie in 2016, he would have beaten Trump. We wouldn't have had to deal with this right now. We would have had another term of Bernie, and we could have had a progressive run to replace him, and we would be in a much better place. Did you even see my massive Twitter rant the other day I posted on the server?
I did. For it, yes.
The whole entire thing, huh?
Yes, I did.
So
read it all.
So for all of you who don't know, Trump said after he won in 2016 that he and his campaign actually thought they were going to lose to Hillary. They were so convinced they were so convinced that Hillary was going to beat them that they didn't even do a victory speech. Just like Hillary didn't have a concession speech. So I think, and I'm sure you noticed this too, Trump is not the same person he was in 2016 as he is now. Even though he was a complete moron and a fascist back then too, he was more calm and all that. I think since he knew he was going to lose, And he did deny he would lose in 2016. He would deny election. It wasn't the same like it was in 2020 and 2024. I think it's likely that if Trump lost to Bernie in 2016, or even Hillary, I think he would have just went okay and went on his way and never showed up again. But no, he won. His mind broke. He lost to Biden. His brain broke even more, and now his brain's even broken anymore because he's a brain dead retard and all that.
Exactly.
But it could have all been nalled in the butt if you all just voted for Bernie off the start.
Yep.
He's not.
That's
Hillary
right.
Biden's more electable. No, they're not.
No, they're not. They're stupid.
Biden only beat Trump because of COVID. That's it. If it wasn't for that, Trump would have won. And if anything, even Fosh finally came to this argument, which I said for a while, that maybe Trump win in 2020 might have been better for us because we wouldn't have to be dealing with him anymore. And we would win a blowout most likely in 2022 and 2024. But no,
because he wouldn't have had the team he has now to try and dismantle democracy that he would have had in 2020. So probably could have held on. And I'd say like barely. I'd say like Trump barely scraping a victory in 2020 would have been better. Yeah, honestly, the DNC deserves everything that the Republicans will weaponize the DOJ against them. They 100% deserve it. So, and if I was in Congress, there'd be some that I'd probably be tempted to vote for just to say, I hope you guys die. I hope you die.
So yeah, I'm looking at the polls too because
what we also need to do is we need to shame every single primary voter every chance we get, and tell them that they're tell them that they deserve the 30 to 40% inflation. They deserve military police states. They deserve their quality of life going down. They deserve everything being 3 times as expensive because of the tariffs, and they deserve being bombed by China in World War III.
And be like me and wreck dipshit Trumpsters on Twitter for this. Oh my God, it's been so fun the last few days destroying them.
The corporate demon rats, Democrats are like that though. So
yeah. Oh, and of course, we've had a lot of cope recently about this election. I think maybe next episode we should watch like liberals like cope and Stephen Malden like they did in 2016 and laugh at them too. So, but yeah, there was actually, despite the fact that Trump won, there's been right-wing cope about this because they're looking at the results and they're like, Kamala had only 70 million votes. Biden had 81 million. Where did all the 11 million votes go? Maybe it was indeed rigged in 2020. And also, and before I get to my point too, because there's a lot of liberals also on Twitter acting like this election was stolen and all that. Guess what, guys? You're both wrong. How about that one?
We've got enough votes around now to say probably not. Very unlikely that it was.
Trump legitimately.
In a way, they've been sort of rigging it for like 4 years by this mass disenfranchisement. But then again, this is the sort of thing they do every time.
Trump legitimately won in 2016 and this year. And likewise, he legitimately lost in 2020. So both of you can all shut the fuck up. Accept the election results like base progressive Chad like me. It's not that hard and all that. But, and there was another thing that they were coping about. Oh yeah, they're doing the same thing they did in 2016. This is a blowout victory. Trump lost the electoral votes compared to Hillary. Even if he gets Arizona, he'll still have less electoral votes than he did in 2016 when he won. And while right now he has the popular vote lead, that might not last and all that. So we'll have to wait and see. But even if he did win the popular vote, even right now you say he has it right now. Looks like a 2.7% lead. That's within the margin of error. That's not that big of an impressive victory. Biden got more vote. got like a whole extra percent on Trump in comparison to 2020. So yeah, it's not a blowout, guys. It's a close victory. It's close enough that Sahil posted a tweet yesterday where if Kamala did better and flipped Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, she would win. Like, it's close enough. Likewise, how Trump almost won 2020 by like 40,000 votes, remember, because we covered that as well.
Yep.
So, no, this is a close election, guys. That's the end of it. So all you dipshit Trumpsters can cope. You're not going to have a success easy of a time next time around. But now, let's ignore like all the bad things right now. Let's talk about some positives that came out of this election. Because I'm sure a lot of liberals are going to want to hear this. And this is important too. Well, first off, like we said, Democrats could still potentially get the House. Like, if we get the House, that would be a massive W to try and stop him and all that. And even if Republicans get the House, if it's small enough, we know Democrats, or at least we hope Democrats will oppose him in everything. Maybe, if it's close enough, there's a chance that maybe just enough, like 2 or 3 Republicans will be like, no, you're too far, Trump, and go against him to stop him from doing like his worst stuff. It's happened, guys. Like with McCain in 2017 when they tried to do the Obamacare repeal. Trump pissed off McCain so much he voted no, and he stunned everyone and saved Obamacare. Thank you, McCain, for that. So Trump, and we know Trump will piss off the Republicans in Congress. He'll piss off everyone eventually. That's what he did all of his first term. All of his allies, he pissed every one of them off eventually, and now they all are against him. So don't underestimate him. So, of course, that's the one good thing. And here's another good thing, too, is that progressive proposals across the country won almost everywhere. Like us in Maryland. Our constitutional amendment to guarantee abortion rights, it won with over 74% of the vote. Let's fucking go!
Spectacular!
And we made stronger now, so you can get abortion anytime you want instead of having just 24 weeks. Let's fucking go! Yeah! Arizona and Missouri both had abortion referendums because they were states that abortion was banned. Both passed. So now you get abortion now in Missouri and Arizona. Let's fucking go! Even though Missouri only won by like 51%, but still a win. Let's go. Missouri also raised minimum wage, which is a W as well. Yeah, Missouri went for Trump by like over 10 points, but they voted for minimum wage by over like 20%. Again, shows that even in deep red states, progressive policies win. You got to have the right progressive president in, and they will win, which we'll get to in a little bit in the next topic. And there is one, it's both a positive, but overall negative at the same time, and that's in Florida. They had a referendum to legalize weed and to make abortion illegal and all that. Weed got 53% of the vote. Abortion got 57% of the vote. But they both failed because in Florida you have to get 60% of the vote. Which is fucking stupid. The only time the pro-choice referendum failed because of a bullshit technicality that's undemocratic too. So even in Florida, they voted for the progressive policies, but because of stupid bullshit rules, they can't implement them. Which is absolutely pathetic. But see, our policies have one. Oh yeah, we also have our first trans senator in Delaware. Let's go!
I saw that, which is awesome.
Which is incredible because did I tell you I'm literally 10 minutes away from Delaware?
Oh, you're that close.
I get Delaware's political ads all the time. I see Sarah McBride over like, that's cool, but I'm a Marylander. Why am I getting your ads, people? Stop. Let's see Maryland stuff for me, please. I'm not in your state. But yeah, that's based that she won and all that. And also, there was one other thing, oh yeah. Thank you, Adam, up in New York, too. New York passed referendums to give protect trans rights and LGBT rights. Let's go! Woo-hoo! Something me and Adam can be proud about in our states. Yay! Because everyone's jealous that Maryland, and in this case New York, are the best states. So let's fucking go and all that. So, to all of you watching, even when Trump wins, we have progressive results that happen everywhere that'll make everyone's lives better. So, keep fighting all that. And finally, this is probably going to be the more contentious one. What are we going to do about Trump? Because I said before, guys, I know a lot of people are like really scared about Project 2025 and will he try and become a dictator and all that. Well, first off, don't forget he is the oldest president ever elected now. He's going to be older than Biden when he became president. So he's brain dead and he's old. And he's in bad health unlike Biden. So he might just fucking die like we all thought Biden would.
Yeah, within a year.
Yeah, he could die.
I reckon, as I said, I reckon.
Stupid dipshit could just drop dead on McDonald's any day now.
Yeah,
because he's
I reckon
stupid.
Trump will maybe last a year, and Biden will last 2.
So 1 year, you're saying 1 year of Trump and we're safe.
Potentially, yeah. I'm not, like, I wouldn't put money on it, but it would not surprise me.
Yep, it wouldn't surprise me either. And of course, we all saw he had 2 assassination attempts on him, so maybe someone will assassinate him. But hey, he'll be the president, so he'll probably have much better support and all that. And maybe, hopefully, he'll learn his lesson, but he's too stupid, so he probably wouldn't. But of course, we gotta get to the main thing. What do we do about him? Well, first off, we might have a Democratic House, like I said, so we could stop him potentially in that regard. 2, some of the things we have to acknowledge, because I brought this up before, he can't just do. Like, he can't just do executive orders on everything. Like, the big concern, like, he'll try and become...
Try? Yeah. Won't stop him trying, but...
Yeah, but
he'll be certain... But the other thing is, like, regarding same-sex... Not just same-sex marriage, but interracial, too, because Tennessee's lined up with trying to... has already got a line-up for trying to overturn that as well.
Yeah, like, a bunch of stuff that he just can't, like, just executive order in. Some of those have to be approved by Congress. And if Democrats do get the House, then that null and voids him pretty much of a whole bunch of stuff he could do. Potentially it's bad. And, like I said, he's not going to have full 100% support of Republicans. They could fuck him over if he pisses them off enough, like McCain.
It'll be a few easy.
If it's close enough, it could be potentially possible, which it is. And remember, guys, he did have the House and Senate in 2017, 2019 by even larger numbers than this time around. And he didn't do, like, all the worst things we thought he was going to do. Yep. And then, here's another thing, too, about SCOTUS as well. Because the people are afraid of, SCOTUS will just let Trump become, like, a dictator and override term limits and all that. No, it's not that simple, guys. First off, in order to get rid of the term limits, you have to do either SCOTUS or a constitutional amendment. SCOTUS, that's the more likelier option, but... they're not guaranteed to do what he wants. Like, guys, the SCOTUS is not 100% aligned with Trump on literally every single thing. They went against him when it came to his denial of the election results in 2020, remember?
Yep, they did.
They went against him. Just this June, they overruled his bump stock ban, for crying out loud.
Ooh. Yep.
They're not going to 100% go align with him, and this is like a major institutional thing, term limits. Even when we didn't have term limits until 1951, it was like a ceremonial term limits since Washington was president. Like, it's so ingrained in American society that I don't think the SCOTUS would actually try it. Like, everyone would be, like, against it and all that. So it's not going to be that simple. They've already dealt with so much shit recently about getting rid of Roe v. Wade that I don't think they're going to try anything like that at the moment. And then you get to... And then you get the constitutional amendment, you need 3/4 of either Congress or the states. And that's not going to happen. So, we have to assume, we have to go with the assumption that Trump is going to be gone in 2029 no matter what. We have to assume it. Yep. He'll try to override and all that, but we have to assume he'll fail. Or at least have more optimism that he will fail. Because the guardrails are a lot stronger than people realize. And all that. Yeah. And the most important thing, too, right now is, we gotta try and take over the Democratic Party as much as possible.
Yes, and we need to.
And we need to fully be prepared for 2026. Because guess what, guys? Trump and the Republicans are going to be in a massive disadvantage in 2026. It's gonna be a massive Democratic blood wave. Because he's gonna fuck up so badly. Take over the House and Senate, and then we'll cuck him even more. And then he'll be...
Hopefully, yeah.
And he'll fuck up so badly that in 2028, when he doesn't run anymore because he can't, his successor will be a piece of shit. And then hopefully by then, we'll have a progressive, which we'll get to in a moment, that will challenge him. And then we'll win and then fix everything from there. Because remember, he did lose in 2020 because he was so bad. He'll do so bad again that he'll fuck everything up for whoever replaces him in 2028, people. Have a little bit more faith, people, of the system and all that. Instead of being doomer pilled all the time. I was completely doomered in 2016 and... it wasn't as bad as we all thought it was going to be. Maybe it won't be as bad this time either, and all that. Have more faith. Now, like the last thing I want to ask about this, as a foreigner, we have to say about this. The whole election.
You really stuffed... Yeah, you guys really stuffed things up.
Hey, I tried, remember? I tried to fix it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I've already been blamed, too, for Kamala losing somehow. Did you know that? Even though I voted for her? How is it my fault? You can't even blame a third party for me.
It's because they're NPCs.
Yep. Don't you love I'm being blamed for something again?
Yes, they do.
So yeah, guys. We got to prepare for 2026, 2028, and cucking them at all costs and all that. So now let's get off of that, as we've done it for over 35 minutes. Let's get on to the next topic, which continues on from this election. Who should a Democratic nominee be in 2028?
In 2028. Yep.
I suggested you should write down a list of people, but you didn't do it. So
no, I couldn't really think of anything.
I have a couple suggestions. And also Wikipedia, I got to load up Wikipedia too, because they already have a list of the 2028 presidential election page on people they think might potentially run that time around. So I'm going to try and load it up. So who do we think will be the nominees for Democrats in 2028? And more importantly, should they be the nominee is the question. So I guess I'll start. Of course, I'm having a while to load up. So I guess maybe I'll start with me, because I have like 4 possible ideas, although one of them's more like an absolute fantasy, but it's something I would really like, of course. First option would be Bernie, of course. But of course, Bernie is most likely...
There's a pretty decent chance that he's not even going to be around by 2028.
I don't know about that. He still seems in okay shape compared to everyone else.
True.
But yeah, he's very old. He'll be 87 if he wins in 2028. And going for 2 terms, he'll be 95. I don't think he'll bother run like 2024. And remember, guys, 2024, he did say if Biden didn't run, he would have ran in 2024 and all that. Oh yeah, that's another thing that cost Democrats too. Biden should not have run in 2024. It was heavily implied that he was not going to. He was going to stop Trump, and then we were going to replace him in 2024. But nope, he refused to do it. He really did fuck us all over, too, by not letting us have an actual primary, and also fuck the the DNC for not having an actual primary, because it is an actual primary. Biden does not automatically get the nomination, people. He has to earn it. You need to run an actual primary and all that. So,
unfortunately, we all know that the primary will be rigged again in 2028.
Well, we'll get to that
primary. So unless we get rid of all corporate Democrats, take over, and basically ban corporate Democrats from the party.
But yeah, I'll get to that a little bit. So back to the main topic, Bernie. I would vote for him if he ran, but I don't think he would run, no. And of course, him being even more older than Trump and Biden, I think this time around people are going to take it more seriously than they should.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? First off with Bernie.
He'd be a really good choice, but of course, we know that
he's too old.
Yeah.
Which won't affect me, has no impact on me whatsoever. I would vote for him no matter what, and I think he would win, but it's going to be difficult for people to probably swallow because he's old and all that. They're going to be like too big deal about it. Like they made a big deal about Biden and never Trump for some reason, even though they're younger than Bernie and all that. So yeah. Then the next one is AOC. I would support AOC if she was a nominee, but I don't think I would support her if she was like another progressive. Like if Bernie is in her place, I'll pick him before I pick AOC. But I would vote for her, but I don't think she would win because she's just too overwhelmingly hated by everyone, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I think she would probably get blown out. Which is
Oh,
unfortunate.
that is if she doesn't get murdered during the primary.
Yeah.
No, that's more Talib and Omar. They'd probably be...
she won! Let's go! And Talib won.
They did it. Yep.
And AOC won the blow too. So,
yep.
as much as it sucked that we lost Cori Bush and Jamal Bowman, we still have parts of squad in and won, so that's good and all.
Yeah, we've still got the core.
And that's another thing too, we need to... For all of you dipshit like dumb leftists, if you want Democrats to be better, you have to vote for progressives when they run. Instead of just, they're Democrats, so bad by default. Well, fuck you then. How about that? Which we're going to get to in a little bit when you all kind of melt down about Bernie recently.
Because we also know that, because they don't want it. They want They want the Republicans to win. They don't want. They want the Democratic Party to be eradicated.
Yeah,
and then they think, the left will rise up. We'll be much into the fucking gas chambers.
Yeah, that's what they've been doing like the last week on Twitter. Like Nick Cruz and all those stupid fucks. All they've been bragging about, Kamala lost. Ain't it awesome and all that? Yeah, sure, pal. That's so impressive.
Sure, terrorist. Like, Sure, CIA agent controlled opposition.
All I can say is I'm glad it wasn't you guys when I voted for the Green Party the last 2 times. I didn't vote for them to like fuck over Democrats. I voted for them because I agreed with them more. Maybe we should have more humility and all that. But yeah, we're both in agreement. AOC, I would support her, but she would probably lose. The third one, although I honestly don't think this would happen, Kamala for a third time. Nah. No. Don't run, Kamala. You already had 2 tries. You were so badly beaten in 2020 that you dropped out before even the primary happened. Thank you, Tulsi, for that. Then you got bailed out because Biden picked you, even though you called him a racist in the primary, remember?
Yeah.
Then you got bailed out again because Biden had to drop out, and you lost. Now, like, I don't know if she would be good or bad or not. Like, she's not as bad as Hillary, people. Like, I've seen so many people say that she's bad as Hillary, or worse than Hillary. Like, no, and no. She's not in discussion. But we already saw she lost. That's probably more of like... Another thing, too, that caused Democrats, too, was just anti-establishment with Biden and all that. Maybe in 2028, if she did run, maybe she'd have a better chance after dealing with Trump's stupid ass for a few years, but I don't really want to trust it, and she's already had 2 tries. Just go away and just accept being a VP and all that. The third one, this one, however, I think would be the best bet. Base Shuckle Walls! Let's go!
Waltz, yes!
Who is actually popular, unlike Kamala.
Yep.
So, this is why I want him even more over Bernie now, believe it or not, people. Let's see, like I said before. Because, let's see, first off, he's younger than Bernie, so they can't do the old argument against him. So he'll be 64 if he runs in 2028, which ain't stupid old. 2, he's... Depending on the circumstances, he's more aggressive than Bernie and all that, remember? Like when he called elongated Musgrave a dipshit. Like Bernie...
Yes, I remember that.
Bernie's too nice, for example. He would never do it. He would destroy him when it comes to policy, but he will never destroy him in a way that resonates with people, like call him a dipshit and all that. Bernie's just way too nice. Walz doesn't give a fuck about that. He will crush you with no effort. And the most... And this is like the most important thing that... The main reason why Walz needs to run over any of the other progressives... I just mentioned earlier, like Bernie OC, is that he is actually liked among the neo-libs of the Democrats.
Yeah.
Which is hard to believe. Kamala likes him. Obama likes him. Biden likes him. Pelosi and Schumer, they all like him.
Yep.
Like, there was a concern, because remember, it was either going to be him or Josh Shapiro. And we were all afraid, oh my God, Kamala's going to pick Shapiro because the establishment Democrats are going to try and pressure her badly to pick him and fuck over Walz. But she didn't do it. She picked Walz and all that, which is based on all that. And it's believed that, because I think Kyle and others said that they did because, she picked him because they actually like him and all that. Yeah. So maybe there's a chance that maybe if he runs in 2028, maybe the DNC might not try and rig it against him if he becomes the nominee like they did Bernie. Like that's a possibility.
No, I don't think they will. No, they will. Because they want to lose because they're pieces of shit and they just they deserve what's coming and the Democrats will rig every single election from here until the end of time unless we get rid of all corporate Democrats and outlaw them in the Democratic Party constitution.
But remember, they could have stopped him right then and there for VP and they didn't. So, like I said, maybe they won't. And who knows, maybe by 2028, maybe the DNC will shake up enough that they'll stop being a piece of shit. Like, the main DNC head's resigning coming up, so maybe we have a chance to get a progressive DNC pick, like Keith Ellison, who got screwed over in 2016 after Trump won. So, like, that's a possibility. So, those are the 4 I could think off the top of my head. And I actually looked up on the Wikipedia article now. There's actually 4 other nominees that came up recently. Representative... The first 2 are new ones on the list. The other 2 were the other day. The first one is Ruben Gallego, who is their representative from 2015. I don't actually know much about him, so I can't say for sure. So, I don't know. The other new one is Josh Shapiro. No.
He would literally lose all 50 states.
He's a Zionist piece of shit. He's a neo-lib.
He's a Zion Nazi terrorist who would literally who would just kill it. It would bomb the Middle East into prehistory.
He's the first one that's so bad, I probably won't even vote for him. Like, that's how bad he is. I'll probably go back to voting for Green again. Like, that's how bad he is, so don't run him. And then the third one, Gavin Newsom, California's governor. No, he's too neoliberal too. Now, there is just one benefit about him. Just one benefit.
Yeah.
He will obliterate like Republicans when he talks to them like in debates and all that. You remember when he humiliated Sean Hannity a few years ago? When he will wreck them with like no effort because they're so stupid. And another benefit is he will actually fight for Democrats, unlike Biden and all that. So those are two very important positives that he has over probably almost every other Democrat on this list. But you gotta also remember though, he is really hated across the country. Hell, not even Democrats in California really like him. So he has major negatives that could negate his positives. And I don't even know if I would even vote for him if he ran. Because he is a neoliberal piece of shit that fucked over progressives.
I don't think anyone should.
Yeah, like, I don't fully trust that he would do good if he runs. And the last one is Gretchen Whitmer, Michigan's governor. I remember I remember back in 2018, I did not like her because Abdul Saeed or whatever his name was, the actual progressive, lost to him, and she was like a neolib and all that. But it's been a few years. I'm not sure and all that. But the one negative, although I don't believe this is as big of a negative as people act, she is a woman, so maybe misogynists will not vote for her because of that. But I don't think it's going to be enough. But that one, I just don't know. Like, the only benefit I can say is she's in Michigan. Maybe she can get Michigan blue and all, but I really don't know. So, yeah, we got to see about these. So, we got to see about these four. Ruben, what do you got to say about that?
Probably not.
Well, or me, I don't know, because I never even heard about him before. And, of course, we already know about Shapiro. Absolutely not. I would not vote for him at all.
Pop up and die.
Newsom, no, I don't even think I would want to vote for him. And I don't think he would win. Whitmer is, I don't know at this point. What about you?
Yeah, I don't know either.
And you know what? Let's add a little bit to this too, because it was a little short. Let's talk about the Republican candidates, because Trump... remember, guys, we have to assume that Trump's not going to run. And he did say he wasn't going to run in 2028 when he loses. Now, of course, I don't trust or believe him. Of course, he said he was going to lose.
He's going to try. He'll try.
And, of course, 2028, he is term limited, so we have to take the assumption that he's not going to be able to run, and they're going to violently kick him out if he tries to stay, and all that. So, there is two Republicans not talking about, so maybe we'll talk about them too. First off is Ron DeSantis again.
Of course. He could.
I mean, he
J.D. Vance is a big one. I reckon he will. He definitely will.
Yeah, those are the two right now. DeSantis and the couch rapist. So, I mean, Trump humiliated DeSantis so much. Remember before the primaries, we all thought that DeSantis was actually going to beat Trump and would actually be worse than Trump potentially.
I remember that.
But Trump humiliated him so bad, to the point now where I don't even know if he could. Even if Trump's not there, I don't know if he could. I think MAGA really doesn't like him outside of Florida now because he got so obliterated. So, I don't know. Vance might be the next best thing because the base likes him. But here's the thing. Just like DeSantis, Vance is really, 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 really hated across the country. He's hated more than Trump. He has worse polling. So he... And he's a smug little piece of shit. He has no charisma like Trump sometimes does. I think... He would probably be the most likely candidate, but I think he would lose the most likely right now.
Yep.
But it's going to come down to... Like, I think Vance is so unlikable and Trump is going to fuck up so bad that I think even probably the worst Democrats are that maybe Shapiro could potentially beat him. Like whoever...
I don't think Josh Shapiro would win because
as I said, I don't think he would win either. I don't think he would win either. But all the others, like...
he would lose all 50 states somehow.
Newsom, I think, would have a chance because J.D. Vance is such an idiot. So yeah, guys, 2028, Trump's going to fuck up everything so bad that the Republicans are going to have a massive disadvantage. So the Democrats will have a major advantage in that regard. So we got to find the right candidate, though, to make sure. So that's why, base, Shuckle, Walls, all the way, please run. And remember what I said before about Kamala winning? We could have had 4 to 8 years with her, and then he could have run 2032. Well, we had sped up now 4 years. So come on, maybe we can get a progressive president in 2028, people. Hopefully that happens. So yeah, please run, Walls, please. All right. So now with that out of the way, I think that almost covers all the election results, although this next one come up still somewhat part of it. So let's get into that now.
Dumb fuck leftists mad at Bernie because he's right.
This is actually a secondary version of this topic, because I mentioned before, I think it was the last episode, remember Bernie proposed a bill that would do an arms embargo in Israel?
Yes, I remember that.
And I kid you not, there were dumb leftists on Twitter like Nick Cruz and all those stupid fucks that shat on him for doing that, saying, it's not going to work and you're still a Zionist genocide lover and all that.
Wow. Fuck off.
Yeah, Bernie's doing
anything other than calling for the ethnic cleansing of Israel is Zionist. Means you're a Zionist who wants to nuke Palestine.
Yeah, guys, Bernie did everything you wanted, and you all shat on him for I have no idea why. But that's not the actual video. I mean, this is not the actual version of it. They're mad at him for a different reason. He did a video before the election saying he made the case why you should vote for Kamala, even though he disagrees with her on what's going on with the Palestinians and all that. And I thought the video was really good and all that. And I don't think, if you're honest, even if you don't agree with him, I don't think you can like just smugly dismiss what he's saying. Bernie, but of course these people hate Bernie no matter what and all that. You can't deny he's right.
Hate it, yeah. And you know why? And you know one of the reasons why they hate him is because he's Jewish.
And they're probably happy he had Holocaust members, family that died in the Holocaust. Because I mean, guys, I just ran to someone earlier today on Twitter, and I showed it to you. Dipshit that not only said women don't like being trad-con waifus because of the Judeo-Bolsheviks, but actually says that Germany and Japan were innocent in World War II. I'm not shitting you. That's how insane this is, people. Nazi Germany and the Empire of Japan were innocent in World War II. Gee, I guess us allies were evil. Fucking
according
idiots.
To them, yeah.
Fucking idiots. All right, so let's watch Bernie being based again.
I understand that there are millions of Americans who disagree with President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris on the terrible war in Gaza. I am one of them.
Oh yeah, that reminds me too. Bernie did a scathing, and I mean scathing, report on the Democrats losing to Trump, and a whole bunch of them went ape shit on him for it.
Oh man, of course they did.
It was so base and all that, and such.
One of them.
Bernie Sanders released a video addressing the people who are having a hard time pulling the lever for Kamala Harris, specifically because of her stance on Israel and Gaza. And look, I'll admit, I was really disappointed with Bernie Sanders on this issue too at times, but even though I've disagreed with him on this issue,
he is like one of the best progressives on this issue,
people. He's still one of just a handful of lawmakers who are actually trying to enforce domestic
which is
and
a very
international
low
law.
bar, but it's still
a million times better than pretty much everyone else.
By
and the
withholding
squad.
weapons to Israel. Back in September, he introduced...
Yeah, this is the issue I was telling you about, people. Bernie Sanders preparing resolutions to block $20 billion of U.S. arms sale to Israel back in September. And dumb leftists shat on him for this, saying it's not going to work, and you're just a Zionist and all that. Like, go fuck yourselves. Bernie did what you wanted, and you need to accept it. Bernie's trying to do the right thing, and you're all not helping him. That's so fuck every one of you.
Don't want it.
Arms sales to Israel.
Because they don't want to help. They're evil.
I'm sad that it took him so long to come around to a ceasefire, and he still won't call it a genocide. Listen, you take what you can get in this system. What I care about is policy, and on that front, he is doing what he needs to do. So he
and
is
people shit on for no reason,
who I think are unquestionably an ally to us. And as the people in Congress,
all you dumb leftists are not our ally, that's for sure.
They're definitely not
who are
helping.
mostly aligned with us on this
you
issue.
go fuck yourself.
He knows that Harris's position is hurting her campaign.
And I said this. I think I said this before in the last episode. I think all you dumb leftists, when it comes to Kamala, I guarantee you, if she did everything you want, even hypothetical scenario, let's say at the snap of a finger, Israel doesn't exist, Palestine has everything, everything's all good and all that, I still don't think you would all vote for her. You would find another excuse why. You would find another excuse why.
They would vote for Trump.
Yeah, like you guys
would vote for Trump anyway.
You guys are not serious. You would never vote for a Democrat, even if they're progressive and all that. Whereas me, I will, because I'm not stupid like you.
not just with Arab American and Muslim voters, but with young people
You all
as
just
well.
hate Democrats, period. I don't. I hate right-wing corporate Democrats, but not base progressives like Bernie.
As people of color.
Exactly.
And he released a video where he tries to make the case for her despite that. And
because they don't base all their ideology on America bad, Russia, therefore Russia and China good, and therefore unipolar world under China, America needs to be bombed.
And don't forget, don't forget, Nick Cruz is also pro-Iran and North Korea, if you didn't know.
Yeah, that's not a surprise.
Fucking dipshit.
That's not a surprise.
His pitch is that he's not trying to bullshit us. He's not lying about Harris's intentions or gaslighting us about us.
Of all the people that could make these arguments about voting for Kamala despite how bad she could be, me and Bernie are going to be the best people at people. Don't listen to don't listen to Bosch. Don't listen to corporate Democrats. They're going to give you dog shit arguments.
Supposed ceasefire that she's working on.
They'll bullshit and lie to you about how they're
so
based on
I want to hear him out because what he says here is actually some really crucial points.
And some of you are saying, how can I vote for Kamala Harris if she is supporting this terrible war? And that is a very fair question.
I want you dipshit, dumb leftists and your non-existent brain to listen to Bernie and listen to him good. You understand me?
Yeah,
and let me give you my best answer. And that is that even on this issue, Donald Trump and his right-wing friends are worse.
Yes, the Trump and the Republicans would be worse on this issue.
They'll be way worse.
They will let Bibi do whatever he wants. He'll murder him even more, try murder everyone in Lebanon, and try and start war with Iran. Yep. Kamala would not do a lot of those things.
Start with Iran, then try to start World War III.
Yeah.
Because they'd start using their ICBMs on China.
In Congress, the Republicans...
And they'll probably also, and don't forget, they'd probably try to attack the entire Middle East and North Africa.
And Mexico too, remember.
Work overtime.
If they had the range to hit every one of America's enemies, they would.
Humanitarian aid to the starving children in Gaza. The president and vice president both support getting as much humanitarian aid into Gaza as soon as possible. Trump has said Netanyahu is doing a good job and has said Biden is holding him back. He has suggested that the Gaza Strip would make excellent beachfront property for development. And
say Trump supporting genocide and settlement of Palestine and Gaza people.
There's no one in Netanyahu.
Exactly what they're going to do.
Whereas as bad as Biden and Kamala are, they don't want Israel to annex all of Gaza and the West Bank.
Prefers to have Donald Trump in office.
And as Bernie says, Bibi wants Trump back in. Like I said before, if Bibi,
so he got what he wanted.
Yeah, if Bibi hates Kamala, which he does, that should be a good sign, people.
But even more importantly, and this I promise you, after Kamala wins, we will together do everything that we can to change U.S. policy toward Netanyahu. An immediate ceasefire, the return of all hostages, a surge of massive humanitarian aid, the stopping of settler attacks on the West Bank, and the rebuilding of Gaza for the Palestinian people.
All base things, but if Kamala did win, I don't know if you'd be able to do that, Bernie, even with all your might.
Let
me be very difficult.
We will have, in my view,
but of course,
a much
she lost,
better
so we're not going to have that
chance of
opportunity.
changing U.S. policy.
Yep, and there's going to be no Palestine left by the end of his term. It's all going to be colonized, it's all going to be colonized and radioactive by Israel.
Rebuilding of Gaza for the Palestinian people.
And they'll of course they'll have invaded Syria, Iraq, Jordan, and Egypt, and and tried to attack every country in the fucking Middle East and North Africa.
Let me be clear. We will have, in my view, a much better chance of changing U.S. policy with Kamala than with Trump, who is extremely close to Netanyahu and sees him as a like-minded, right-wing extremist ally.
Yeah, and he's right.
Listen to the base Bernie!
He said white wing.
We'll actually be able to.
He said white wing.
Listen to how based he is, people.
Pressure Kamala Harris to reverse
and he's right on everything. And we're not even done yet. That's only part of it. He's right on everything, you idiots.
But we're talking about probability here. Harris would probably succumb to pressure more then Donald Trump would succumb to pressure. How likely is it? Who knows? You can't really quantify something like that. We're talking about probabilities. But if there is a 5% chance that Harris would succumb to pressure, that's better than the 0% chance that we have with Donald Trump, because I don't think he would ever succumb to pressure from pro-Palestine activists. Now, we also talked about...
He'd be sending the military to massacre them.
Man, Bernie, you're just a Zionist. How about that one?
Nazi terrorist.
This issue in a recent video.
I'm just a Nazi terrorist, and you want to nuke the Middle East.
And when we mean Zionist, we mean you're a Jew.
And she seems more optimistic than Bernie Sanders. She thinks Kamala.
You're part of the cabal, and you're the one who demanded shock therapy into the Nazi terrorist state of the Ukraine.
Actually, be better than Biden on this issue, even though there's no guarantee, and she admits that. But she also said something else that really stuck with me.
The genocide does not end with Trump election.
Because you're a case slur.
The genocide will most likely be and our ability to advocate as he thinks anybody who is against him is an enemy within.
And of course, we're going to have to watch him get a racist slur in text against him coming up soon.
And so I would like to still have a fighting chance
subtly
in advocating for the end of this genocide without ending up behind bars.
And that is a really bleak take, but she's not wrong. Regardless of how difficult it'd be to move Kamala Harris on this issue, the fact remains that we'd still be able to at least try to move her on this issue. Whereas with Donald Trump, our freedom to merely advocate for a free Palestine would be greatly diminished. And this isn't just hypothetical. Ryan Grimm and Murtaza Hussein of Dropsite reported that the architects of Project 2025 have a comprehensive plan to, quote, dismantle the pro-Palestine movement in its entirety. They go on to report the plan, dubbed Project Esther, casts pro-Palestinian activists in the U.S. as members of a global conspiracy aligned with designated terrorist organizations. As part of a so-called Hamas support network, these protesters receive, quote, indispensable support of a vast network of activists and funders with a much more ambitious, insidious goal. The destruction of capitalism and democracy, Project Esther's authors allege. This conspiratorial framing is part of a legal...
It's Al-Qaeda and ISIS that want the global...
But they're Muslims. They all want to murder people, remember?
Strategy to suppress speech favorable to Palestinians or critical of the U.S.-Israel relationship.
Like Christians are based in white, remember?
Employing counterterrorism laws to suppress what would otherwise be protected speech, legal experts told Dropsite News. To achieve its goals, Project Esther proposes the use of counterterrorism and hate speech laws, as well as immigration measures, including the deportation of students and other individuals in the United States on foreign visas for taking part in pro-Palestinian activities. It also advocates deploying the Foreign Agents Registration Act, allow placing disclosure obligations on parties representing foreign interests against organizations that the report's authors imply are funded and directed from abroad. In addition, the document also suggests using the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, or RICO, to help construct prosecutions against individuals and organizations in the movement. The RICO Act was originally created to fight organized crime in the U.S. and particularly mafia groups. Project Esther's authors envision their campaign unfolding in a series of stages. First, the purging of propaganda from school curricula, followed by an intimidation campaign to dissuade students from joining demonstrations and restrictions on social media communication, gatherings, and other forms of coordination between pro-Palestinian groups.
People.
The end of the process leads to a moment when both the U.S. public and a preponderance of Jewish community perceives HSOs, short for Hamas support organizations, as a threat to their safety. These steps, Project Esther's authors pledge, will break the pro-Palestinian movement in the United States within 12 to 24 months. So we're not speculating or talking about some abstract plan. They've devised a multi-step plan to crush the entire movement. And they've already named some specific targets
and
that they plan to go
also,
after,
don't forget that
Muslims.
They'll be like, oh yeah, by the way, we're also going to do massacres.
Palestine, National Students for Justice in Palestine, and Jewish Voice for Peace, which is arguably one of the most, if not the most
but Trump and Benny Boy say they're fake Jews.
Prominent anti-genocide organizations in the country with chapters
they say
in
they're
every
actually
state.
the spawn of
So
Satan.
if they root out the organizers, that is one way to massively cripple the entire movement, because sure, as individuals, we can still choose to go hold up a sign somewhere and bring as many people as we can, but without infrastructure to actually organize massive protests, it's going to be very difficult for the pro-Palestine movement to get their voices heard. This is why you need organizers and these kinds of movements to coordinate these types of protests. Now, this would be a massive escalation against the pro-Palestine movement if Trump were to get elected. And we're talking about a coordinated campaign targeting all of us to either shut us down.
Also, don't forget, or to deport or kill us.
Intimidate us into silence. I mean, if Trump declares pro-Palestinian advocates a national security threat, what does that even look like in practice? Will pro-Palestinian content creators like Mehdi Hassan or Kyle Kalinske or myself be forced to spend money to defend ourselves if they lob accusations at us for being part of the Hamas support network? I can assure you, most independent media people cannot afford to do that. Will YouTube feel inclined to just deplatform us altogether in the face of government pressure or penalties? Yes. Will your employer feel pressure to fire you if they see your pro-Palestine posts on social media out of fear that if they don't fire you, they might be retaliated against by the federal government? I mean, so many Americans already have to sign loyalty pledges to Israel to get government jobs or to get speeches at universities. So is it really that much of a stretch to think that they would expand these anti-free speech measures?
They will kill, they will run,
and that how bad it's going to get and how far it's going to go, but we know that they have a fucking plan to shut it down. And that alone should be taken into consideration. Having said that, though, I understand that people still don't want to pull the lever for Harris, because even though they know that Trump would be worse, they just don't want Democrats to think that they can materially support a literal genocide and still count on their votes. I don't agree, but I get it. In my opinion, Democrats already don't think that they need our votes to win, so I don't think that we have the leverage that we once thought we had. But still, people are pissed off, understandably so.
And I mean, if you don't want to vote for Kamala because of the Hamas-Israel war, as someone who did vote for her, that's fine. I understand if you don't want to.
I understand.
But I'm not going to vote shame you if you don't want to vote for her. But guess what? Trump coming in is more than enough reason for me to vote for her, even in a deep blue state. So my reason is just as valid as your reason is. So don't vote shame me either. How about that one?
Which is why a lot of people in deep blue or deep red...
But no, they did do that. And of course, some trans friend of mine found Twitter over the last month or so, calling her a genocide enabler and all that, yet they want to genocide Ukrainians and Uyghurs, so your argument doesn't work. Get back!
Are still planning to either stay home or vote third party. But where it gets tricky is the people who are in swing states, because as hard as it is to pull the lever for Kamala Harris, they know that Trump would be worse. So the question is, what should they do? Well, if it were me, I would personally cast a vote against Donald Trump by voting for the person with the best chance of defeating him. That's Kamala Harris.
And that's what I did too, and both me and Mike are in blue states.
Is not going to win. So I
would
strategically
since I have a based system of, and since I have a based voting system, I can put the Greens first, put Albo down a couple of spots, but put him against my lid. And my local candidate, Labour candidate, ahead of my Liberal candidate, but behind my Greens candidate.
And of course, you still stand by what you said before. If you were American, you wouldn't vote for Kamala unless you're in a swing state, right?
Yes.
It's my vote as a tool to defeat Donald Trump. But with that being said, people aren't going to agree with that. Not everyone will.
Hey, it's nice to know, just like the Vanguard too, that we could disagree on that and not call ourselves genocide enablers or whatever, people.
Yeah.
And if you still don't want to do that,
because we have valid reasons.
There is this. Swap
and you guys and you Green Party dipshits are nothing but LARPers and grifters.
So this is one way to effectively cast a protest vote in a swing state while not helping Donald Trump. Now, the way that this works is you match with 2 Harris voters in a safe state like California, and both of them will agree to vote for a third-party candidate in your place if you agree to vote for Kamala Harris in your swing state in order to defeat Donald Trump. Now, for those wondering, yes, this is perfectly legal and constitutionally protected speech.
I mean, that's
they
like
actually
a weird thing
this out
to do,
in the
but
FAQ
okay.
section where they
I don't
cite
think
the
it really helped
2007
much,
Supreme
though.
Court case of Porter v. Bowen, which confirms that this is indeed permissible. Now, to be clear, I'm not sponsored.
Like I would say in
by
the end, people, if you value, if the Hamas-Israeli war is the biggest thing for you, then just vote for the Green Party. Then, even though they're genocide enablers too, people, so don't act like you're smug, don't act like smug cunts about it. But if you're like me and think Trump win is more important, then you just vote for Kamala. Like, it's not that big of a deal, people. It's not that hard of a choice.
I'm not being paid to promote them. I just think that this is an option to consider as a last resort if you are absolutely unmovable when it comes to voting for Kamala Harris, but you still don't want Donald Trump to win. Now, it's not a perfect solution, and you kind of just have to trust that the person you match with does what they say they're going to do. But apparently, you can communicate with them and verify votes and whatnot. But I just think that this is an option, a last resort for people who are still agonizing about this, but they don't want Donald Trump to win. With that being said, even if you opt to not do something like this, I think it's important that we're realistic about the choices before us. There's no anti-genocide candidate who can win in this election cycle, but there are meaningful differences between Donald Trump.
There may not be an anti-genocide candidate, but there's an even bigger pro-genocide candidate, Trump. Wants to murder Palestinians even worse, wants to fuck over the Ukrainians, wants to start, probably killing Iranians, wants to start war with North Korea, China, and all that. Like, he's an even bigger genocide enabler, people. Kamala's not.
Kamala Harris, even on this issue.
And if anything, if we're being honest, Kamala is both pro and anti-genocide at the same time because she doesn't want Ukrainians to get murdered. And all that.
She doesn't want Ukrainians, Moldovans, and Georgians to be slaughtered.
See, that's called being nuts.
That's called being reasonable.
That's called being smart and not a LARPer.
This election cycle,
I don't know why it's so hard for people
really
not be
issues
grifters and LARPers and idiots.
And
when
I
to
want
me
to go
it
back to
seems
Bernie
to us it's
Sanders
pretty
and
simple.
with one more clip from him where he's going to lay out the differences.
Seriously,
between
that's
Harris
what it
and
is.
Trump.
It's money.
Nick Cruz, are you grifters on the left like we covered months ago?
In other areas where it's much more clear cut, because these aren't just aesthetic or rhetorical differences.
They are.
The differences between both candidates on these issues that he's going to talk about are literally a matter of life and death. So, without further ado, here's Bernie's parting pitch for Kamala Harris.
As important as Gaza is, and as strongly as many of us feel about this issue, it is not the only issue at stake in this election.
Thank you, Bernie.
If Trump wins, women in this country will suffer an enormous setback and lose the ability to control their...
And I don't know if Bernie's going to bring this up, but remember, people, this is Americans. This is our country. This is something that we have to deal with. As bad as what happened to the Palestinians is, that's somewhere else. That doesn't affect us. This does. That's a big difference.
Their own bodies. That is not acceptable.
20.
If Trump wins,
how does 30 plus % inflation sound because of the tariffs?
Base, don't you know? Or if you're too stupid. And by the way, if y'all don't know, people, because Americans are so stupid and don't think about this issue. After Trump won, Google had a massive surge of people looking up tariffs and all that. Gee, maybe you should look up this shit like I've done a long time ago to be base protectionist like we are and realize as good as basic protections, tariffs are, they need to be done in a smart way. Trump's way is stupid. But of course, most Americans, but of course, as unfortunate as the majority of Americans are not as hardcore political as we are to look up in this stuff, which to me should be very simple. They're just too stupid and lazy.
The struggle against climate change is over. While virtually every scientist who has studied the issue understands that climate change is real and an existential threat to our country and the world, Trump believes it is a hoax. And if the United States, the largest economy in the world, stops transforming our energy system away from fossil fuel, every other country, China, Europe, all over the world, they will do exactly the same thing. And God only knows the kind of planet we will leave to our kids and future generations. If Trump wins at a time of massive income and wealth inequality, he will demand even more tax breaks for the very richest people in our country while cutting back on programs that working families desperately need.
And unbased
The rich
protectionism.
will only
The
get
stupid
richer,
unprotectionism.
while the minimum wage will remain at $7
Instead of being smart like
an
Biden.
hour, and millions of our fellow workers
instead of
will continue to earn
being cut to zero, the corporate tax rate will be cut to zero.
Imagine not being smart on economic issues like I am on Age of History Free and Vicky too.
Did you all see the recent Trump rally at Madison?
Oh yeah, Fallout covers, but after the
Yes.
election, I decided not to.
God,
I thought,
that one.
Yeah, Trump like a week ago had a rally at Madison Square Garden, and oh my God, it was full of nothing but racism towards Hispanics, Puerto Ricans. It was all a bunch of vile, evil stuff.
It was a bunch of, there was a bunch of fucking Nazis.
It was just a
And
straight up Nazi rally.
At the last time they had a rally like that at Madison Square Garden was to support the original Nazis
And what I
in
can tell you
1941.
is that as a nation,
It was just a Nazi
as all
rally,
of you know,
people.
we have struggled for years against impossible odds to try to overcome all forms of bigotry, whether it is racism,
make
whether it's
sure that the
sexism, whether
planet
it's homophobia,
is
whether it's
livable.
xenophobia, you name it. We have tried to fight
Don't
against
worry,
bigotry.
elongated Musgrave will send us
that
to
is
Mars, don't you know?
What we saw on display. at
It's
that
livable over there, don't you
unbelievable
know?
Trump rally. It was not a
No,
question.
it's not.
of
Mars
speakers
doesn't
getting
have a
up there
magnetic field. Mars's gravity is like a third of the Earth's. It's fucking 40 bits, barely only around where freaking Curiosity is. Does it sometimes get above the melting point of water?
Isn't like the highest high ever measured in Mars like 70 degrees or something like they had?
I'll look that up.
Because I know, because the average is probably below zero, and the lowest low on Mars is like negative 152. Plus, only
about 20 degrees Celsius, and it can get low as minus 150.
Yeah.
By the way, that is the surface temperature of Jupiter.
No atmosphere to breathe, radiation, people.
Yep, unbreathable atmosphere, radiation, probably got huge radiation issues.
But remember, that's just all wokeness, don't you know?
Disagreeing
facts?
with Kamala
We don't
Harris
like
on the
facts,
issue.
remember?
That wasn't the issue at all.
Yep.
They were
Yeah.
attacking her
Go
simply
back to your
because
safe
she
space,
was
Jack
a woman
Probiotic.
And a woman
Mars
of
is space,
color.
don't you know?
Extreme, vulgar sexism.
These are the
and
people who
racism.
probably think Venus is
that
too.
really the kind
No,
of
because
America
Venus is a
we
woman's
can
name,
allow?
remember?
Oh, true.
let me
And
Yeah.
a woman's
by
symbol.
saying this is the most
That's why Mars is space,
consequential
because it's the
election in
male
our
symbol.
lifetime. Many of you have differences of opinion
patriarch
with Kamala
symbol.
Harris on Gaza. So do I. But we cannot sit this election out. Trump has got to be defeated. Let's do everything we can in the next week to make sure that Kamala Harris is our next president.
Man, if only people listened to Bernie more, because what he said was so based, you can't really deny it. So we gotta see about that. Bernie being so based as always. Saying what I've been saying.
Wish more people listened to him.
But of course, that's too hard, apparently. But yeah,
Yep.
absolutely very good. And fuck you, dumb leftist, for being mad at him twice, because he's right on everything. All right, so now, on to the next topic.
Okay, in a second, that'll be... Dumb fuck Republicans gets banned from CNN because for threatening to murder Mehdi Hassan.
Oh my goodness, this was hilarious. So of course, based Mehdi Hassan went on CNN recently.
And into the cave and into the lion's den.
Yeah, he went straight into the lion's den of CNN, and I think they were covering the Madison Square Garden protests and how racist they were. And oh boy, oh my goodness, the Republican they have on said something that was so racist to Mehdi that he got banned from CNN. Oh my goodness! How could you be that bad to get banned?
How do you do that? How do you get yourself banned from the corporate news network?
You went too Nazi-esque, buddy. Maybe CNN and all the mainstream media should do this more, so less Republican idiots can spew their bullshit. But hey, you get them.
Let's fucking retards.
Yep.
Get on board.
You take the wins as you get them, but man.
Yep.
And what's pretty sad is what he said to Mehdi is so new that I don't think most people know about it. So we're going to have to properly explain to you people how bad he said was. So
Yeah.
here we go.
If you don't want to be called Nazis, stop.
And also, the guy said it so quickly while people are talking, you all might not hear it. So when you hear me go, ooh.
Catch it.
When you hear me go like, ugh, you know that's when it was said.
You're called an anti-Semite. You've been called an anti-Semite more than anyone else's table.
Yeah.
And people would sit there and... No, by me. I never called you an anti-Semite. I mean, I'm not sitting here saying I don't...
I'm a supporter of the Palestinians, so I'm used to it.
Yeah, well, I hope your beeper doesn't go off. The thing is that...
You just say I should
So, for all of you who don't know, Mike's going to probably explain to it. So, for all of you who didn't hear what he said, this guy told Mehdi, I hope your beeper doesn't go off. Now, you're probably all wondering, what is that supposed to mean? It's a reference. Yep. It's a reference to Israel's beeper attack in Lebanon back in September, where they had beepers go off to kill Hezbollah members, and unfortunately, they went off during where civilians were around, so they killed civilians. So fuck Israel for doing that too. But that's what it's a reference to. Ever since Israel did that, Islamophobes and racists have used it against all Muslims across the country. They use it against Rashid Tlaib and Omar too. It was just used as nothing but racism. And so he's saying he hoped his beeper doesn't go up as a way of him getting killed.
Yeah, and like it's not just like, oh, I hope you go there. No, this is a subtle death threat. This is not just a death threat. This is a subtle. I'm going to murder you.
Imagine
type of death threat.
Imagine wanting base Mehdi Hassan dead because he dares to be a Muslim.
That's how much of a racist Nazi piece of shit that guy is, and why.
And that's what all Republicans pretty much are, people, especially when it comes to Muslims.
Yep.
They want them all dead after 9/11.
Yep.
Journalist.
And they want to murder them themselves. You heard all the people who were calling for nuking the Middle East.
And I had to stop what I was doing to make a video about this because I was genuinely shocked.
And also Mehdi handled like a boss as always because he's so based.
Like a boss.
Just like he triggers dumb leftists, he destroys Chinese diplomats, he destroys racists. How can anyone hate him? He's so based.
Nevertheless, and to make matters worse,
because they're bad people.
They're Islamophobes.
Embarrass himself and then apologize.
They're racist pieces of shit who need to be punched in the face really, really hard.
No, I did not say that.
And I will not apologize for that because they're calling for that to happen to everyone who doesn't agree with them.
Of the Palestinians.
Hamas.
Guys, let me
And of course the guy was so racist. He fought he thought Mehdi was part of Hamas, and of course, and always. And he used the Patriot attack on. Well, it wasn't Hamas they did on. It was Hezbollah. Like, if you're gonna be Islamophobic, can you at least try to determine?
Try to get the country right. But now, of course, they're all dirty stand slurs. So we don't need to differentiate between countries because that's how much of racist Nazis they are.
Yep, it's just too hard when it should be pretty simple. Imagine not being racist. It's very easy, people. Ain't it easy?
Very easy to be a racist piece of shit.
Why is it so Why is it so easy for us, but not for these people? I don't get it.
Because
they're not chads.
Human emotions like empathy.
And they're not chads. They're chuds.
Yep, they're chuds and beta males.
Say the Muslim guy should be blown up.
They're chuds and they're beta males.
Don't say then. I apologize.
Yes, I'm calling. Yes, I'm calling them beta males.
Ryan looks like a retard in that face after he spewed it. Jeez. He's like Eustace from Curses Calvin Claw. What did I do?
Today, and so at this point,
this is what we're in now. This is America in 2024.
Here's what I will say.
Forget the racism.
You were being a demon.
What does beeper mean?
Unironically being a demon.
So what did you mean?
What did you mean by the beeper?
So what did you mean?
Listen to the rage.
No, you didn't. You said, I hope your beeper doesn't go off.
Ryan, stop talking.
At least have the guts to support your racist comment.
It shouldn't be this hard, people, and not being racist, but
Don't call
apparently
us
it
Nazis,
is.
but I'm going to threaten the brown guy as a terrorist and kill him.
Because I didn't ever say Donald Trump was Hitler. But do you know who stood on a stage yesterday and said, I want to come to the Nazi rally? I don't have to make up words and call you something. You're saying it for yourself. And what you just said right here, apologize, but I will tell you, I don't accept that apology, and you didn't even say it
That's
to
fine.
me.
I didn't say it
that
to
was
you.
disgusting. But I can be offended when you don't even say it to me. I'm not.
Oh, we're gonna be very mad coming up in a little bit, people.
And I'm offended that the former
Oh,
president
yeah.
and potentially future
And this is
president
absolutely
would
disgusting
allow
what the
it
person
and
said,
go
but it was also
and
hilarious at the
not
same
say, I
time.
don't care, 'cause you know what? When Kamala Harris put out statements about switching of opinions, it wasn't good
Racism
enough for
bad,
Republicans.
okay?
'Cause you said it.
Racism and
That's
Islamophobia
Yeah.
very, very, very bad, okay?
Oh, I thought that you said you support Hamas.
Of course,
not
they won't
Palestine.
agree. They'll be like, Islamophobia, Nazism,
You thought that you
good,
said you support
because we
Hamas.
worship
Because
Satan.
of course you did. See, to these people, when they hear Palestinian, they automatically hear Hamas because they're unable to differentiate between Palestinians and Hamas.
Because all Muslims are
the way that they
evil,
tell
remember?
themselves that
Yes,
growing
because
up
because
Palestinian women and
Muslims
children is
because
acceptable
Arabs
is to
worship
just say they're all
Satan.
Guys, this is literally the exact BS I had to deal with for the last 20 years, pretty much after 9/11. Pretty much the exact same BS.
Mhm.
Nothing new, nothing less.
Yep, I'll bet to do it as well.
Remember Sam Harris and all those dipshits calling us Islamic apologists?
Yes, I remember that.
Oh, man, you remember how hard it was to defend Muslims back then? From all the racists? Oh, man, those good old days. Oh, jeez.
Hamas. So that's kind of how they rationalize it, and that's how they are able to...
You're
live with
all a bunch of
themselves, basically, for supporting
SJWs,
genocide.
too.
But then...
And you're also a
They
bunch
didn't even
of
understand what he
Jewish
was saying because
Marxists trying
the
to turn the
reference
West
to the
into a
paper-
nationalist Marxist caliphate.
Unfortunately, I remember people saying that back then, too. And, of course,
Yeah.
like every day on Twitter now.
thing was Hezbollah, not Hamas. But to them, it doesn't matter. All Arabs are the same, and they're all subhuman. according to
Muslims
these
are
folks.
evil.
Now,
That's it, people.
Abby Phillips, if
Ah.
CNN, to her credit, did
I
tell them to
believe
stop
because
talking,
they're
and then she
demons.
later issued this apology on air after that.
I think they're jealous that our Muslims are
We're
the
back here,
best.
and before we get started, I want to just address what happened.
A
in the
lot
last
of our
segment.
Muslims are
First,
actually
I want to
based.
apologize to Mehdi
Because
Hassan for
the Western world is based. How about that one? Not just the Western world, the New World too. Let's go, us New World people. How about that?
what was said at this table. It was completely
There'll be a shitload of... You just triggered about 75% of the left saying that.
Get bent, Afro-Eurasians too. We're better than you. We're not as racist as you are. How about that one? Even with America.
acceptable. When we get this discussion started, you'll see that Ryan is
At least those who were brought up as decent people weren't. So
there is a line that was crossed there, and it's not acceptable to me. It's not acceptable to us at this network. We want discussion. We want people who
Good
disagree
job
with
getting
each other
banned
to
on
talk to each
CNN.
other.
That's hilarious. Let's go. Get bent, Islamophobe.
Yeah.
It's a heated time.
Get
We're in
bent,
the middle of a political
racist
season. We
shit
have 8
stains.
days from a
Get bent on
presidential
Minecraft
election.
to the
We can
warden.
have conversations about what is happening in this country without resorting to the lowest of the lowest kind of discourse.
Except
Oh, and you want to know what Ryan's cope was after this?
what?
He was crying. They can all call us Nazis and whatever, but I can't call Mehdi what I call them. Oh, this is just woke crap.
I want to address that, and I want to apologize.
Of course he blames wokeness. Blame wokeness for
we want to be able to hear each
wokeness.
other.
Blaming
we want to be able to talk to each
woke.
other.
The
And we plan
loser,
to do that
the
in this next
loser's
segment.
growing guide to
But I
winning
do
debates.
think that
Just
this
yell woke and you win.
should be a moment where CNN
Or be like idiots like Trump says I dealt with this morning on Twitter. Oh yeah? Your face. You like Pokemon. End of discussion. You're fat. I win.
and their hosts are a little bit.
That is not the
First and foremost, bringing on guests
roast
like
you.
this-
That is not the clapback you think it is.
Imagine hating Pokemon and hating men with beards and all that. That sounds like something that conservatives are supposed to like.
Yeah, that's tradition.
I think
Men traditionally had beards.
Maybe-
You say you're against tradition? What are you? An SJW Jewish Marxist?
maybe they're just jealous because I'm more of a man than them.
Yeah, because you're lesser. Because they're chud beta males.
I'm the base Chad here, like my election date picture if you saw it on Twitter. Or I posted on the server. Do you think they're jealous of that beard?
Yes,
Don't
very
be
jealous.
We'll say. And the reason why you know that this individual
Not
was
my
racist
fault.
is
Progressives
because he
are the
was one
most
of a couple of
manly
people
and
on
nicest
panel
people in the world.
to defend Donald Trump's Hitlerian
Maybe they're
rally,
jealous of Mike
where
too.
his surrogates were talking about how Puerto Rico is
They're
an
just
island
jealous of
trash,
progressives in
and
general.
how his
Because
black
we
friend,
get the
I think,
bitches
is
too.
guy, actually, Phil
Yeah,
Tony,
because they
who
know
said
that they're
him
beta.
and
They're
his black
deep down
friend were
that they're
carving
beta
watermelons
males,
instead of pumpkins.
And they
So
know
this
we get the bitches,
out
unlike
racism,
them.
Not to mention a lot of other
Because we treat
dehumanizing
women
rhetoric
with
towards
respect,
Palestinians
unlike
at
you
that same rally
clowns.
by
Yes.
Rudy Giuliani.
Which
Yeah,
we're going to
unlike
get very
people who
angry
live-
coming up.
Oh yes.
But to create this both sides, you have to bring on the racists so you can debate whether or not racism is bad or
Yeah.
not. And I
How
just
about
feel like maybe
You have
that's
to bring
not
on the
best.
Nazis to
How about-
discuss the Holocaust. You have to bring on the Ottomans to discuss the Armenian genocide. You have to bring on the Buddhists to discuss the genocide of the Rohingya. You have to bring on the...
We gotta bring on the idiots that
We
think
do.
Nazi Germany Empire Japan are innocent.
Yes.
We gotta bring on tankies.
Because
We gotta bring on tankies that denied the Soviet Union's atrocities in World War II.
That's strategy for media, because the goal is to inform.
We gotta bring on lost causes to defend the CSA in the Civil War.
Yep, we gotta bring on flat earthers to. We gotta bring on Eric Debate to talk about how molecules control your mood. How about how molecules control your mind.
You're neutral.
Yep.
I don't think
We gotta bring on
second of all,
the big
here's
lie
the thing, the reason
people.
why that person probably
Yep,
felt
we gotta bring on Bill Nye the Science Guy and Ken Ham the Bullshit Man.
Oh, it's pretty sad that.
Actually, to be fair, Ken Ham is like one step better than the others because he's actually he's debunked a couple of creationists and other creationists, and he's also like got this weird thing where he's like radioactive decay was like 10 times faster before the days of Noah's Ark. Which is like
it's pretty weird.
He's at least trying, but he's got. But it's like it's one of those.
He's too stupid in the end.
Effects.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's pretty sad that Bill Nye would have no trouble against him, but he probably would have. But people would probably think he still lost in the end, which is pretty sad and pathetic.
Your network, CNN, is because all throughout this past year, throughout the genocide, we've had some good reports sprinkled in here and there, but we've also seen...
Largely, you don't consider Palestinians to be human beings, so...
CNN
likewise, I don't consider the people coming up humans. They're animals.
To Nazis. She did that.
They're Trump-loving animals,
Tepper
people. And
has
that's
said
what Trump
very
encouraged.
Terrible things about Palestinians. So this network has helped to dehumanize Palestinians and normalize anti-Arab bigotry.
Man, they're all
and
Muslims, so who cares about
So
them?
I appreciate Abby Phillips trying to.
We make our money off. We make our money off murder.
Islamophobia is so fun, don't you know?
Bring in this anti-Palestinian bigotry. See, this is the problem. This is one instance, then you can point to it and say, "Man, this is really bad. This is disgusting," but it's systemic, right? This is a microcosm of a bigger issue, and Grodowski is just the tip of the iceberg. So many of these Republicans and pundits on CNN too, they hold this exact view. Anyone defending Palestinians,
they do not believe that Palestinians are human beings.
Lives are meaningless to them. They also think the people defending them are worthless. Hope your pager doesn't go off. I mean, the level of dehumanization here is
I hope your pager doesn't go off.
And we see constant. We are absolutely.
Careful, I might give Israel ideas in the future.
And I think that's beyond.
They're using them against their own people.
When that period of time.
Careful, Bibi might get ideas.
Before
Trump's in here? Maybe I can go pager Americans and get away with it.
We've at least
And I
tried
mean,
to move beyond that, but
IDF has killed American volunteers over the last year, so that's not out of the realm of impossibility.
No, it's worse than ever.
No,
and that's me kind
and
of
Trump
being
wouldn't care at all.
Privileged as a white.
No,
dude who
because
doesn't have
he
to
would cheer it on because he's so because he wants to have gay sex in Narnia with Benjamin Netanyahu.
Don't forget Pootler and Pooh Bear G there too.
Oh yeah, yep.
Giant
Kim,
But do you think that if
and Kim, and the leader of Iran,
he would have said that same
even though he
thing
wants to
me?
kill him at the same time.
Do you think that he would have said, he hopes my pager doesn't blow
even
up?
though he wants to bomb Iran so badly that the landmass is sunk into the sea.
Racism is absolutely brazen, and the context that this happens when you have this person who's defending what is effectively a Nazi rally comparable to the 1939 pro-Nazi rally at Madison Square Garden. That guy defending that.
They not only did they did a whole bunch of racing towards Puerto Ricans, they were doing white replacement theory bullshit too.
Oh, they're promoting the white genocide conspiracy theory.
Puerto Ricans are having all these kids. White people are not having any kids.
It's no surprise that he's going to say something racist.
Yep, it was that overt. Which is funny because Puerto Ricans, remember, are Americans too.
I feel like that trigger broader introspection.
Imagine being racist to other Americans too.
Need to understand that these news outlets, they don't.
Well, they can't help it. Remember, they can't help being racist Nazis.
Even though their title is news.
I guess they won't like Hawaii then either. The only state that's not majority white.
At the end of the day,
that's
what they care about. Their bottom line.
Maybe they want to give it.
Remember, America colonized the shit out of them.
Hey, we colonized everywhere. We made them all white paradises. Remember? maybe.
Well, that's what Britain. did
to everyone. And all the Europeans. Let's go. Maybe these races.
And don't forget we include Russia in that.
Yep, but for the Eurasian continent instead of the New World. Russia did the exact same thing, but towards the rest of Eurasia instead of the New World.
So
I bet this guy. You guys that don't want Hawaii, are you guys the pro Empire Japan people want to give Hawaii to Japan as punishment?
Anything. This is great for
Hawaii to Japan, Alaska to Russia,
people talking about it.
And then I don't know, maybe California. Did they say like California, Oregon, and Washington to China?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised because they're full of Asian slurs. Remember?
This is a broad issue, and CNN is one of many media outlets that engage in overt dehumanization of Arabs, of Palestinians.
I bet they won't be happy giving back all the Southwest states to Mexico after we took them from them.
If you are constructing a panel,
don't forget the Native Americans in the areas too.
Don't forget the native populations across the planet and the solar system.
These people shouldn't be taken seriously.
But they're not white, remember?
I saw that clip. It pissed me off, so I had to make a video about it.
Dude, to give you an idea how long ago the Australian Aborigines arrived in Australia, there were still Neanderthals.
Yep.
Neanderthals were still around.
But see, that requires thinking about stuff that even me as American knew. But do you think these people like thinking?
No, they don't know what they will never know what they're talking about.
You're saying they have 1% literacy in Vicky too? Wait, that might be too high for them. That might be
generous. No, that's genuinely generous.
For no reason, but nonetheless.
Imagine not knowing the history of stuff, people. It's pretty simple.
Hope you'll check that out.
Later.
I find it fascinating and embarrassing how you as a foreigner know more about American history than probably these idiots do. That's pretty sad.
Oh yeah.
Maybe if you put effort into it like this Aussie does, maybe you'd learn stuff, people. Just like I wouldn't be surprised if I know more stuff about Australia than the idiots down there too. I mean, it's not that hard, people. It's very simple. You just gotta put effort in. So yeah, what do you guys say about that? Mehdi Hassan once again having to deal with racism again, and guy got so racist he got banned from CNN.
Yeah, that's an achievement.
Good job.
That is a fucking achievement.
Imagine maybe next time don't be so racist. It's not that hard, people.
Don't be such a brain dead. Don't be such a fucking shithead, and you won't. And maybe you'll actually be considered to be allowed on a show again.
Unfortunately, he's probably going to be the same people that we're going to have to cover now. I'm not looking forward to this, whatever. I'm not.
All evil animals want to rape women and girls on Twitter.
I'm honestly more offended by this than even Trump winning, for crying out loud, people. But more importantly, Trump encourages these people because of this.
Yep.
Oh my god. And of course, this is so bad. This is so bad. I actually got screenshots of a whole bunch of tweets that were spread all over the place because of this. So of course, because
did you hear about all the text messages about plantations sent out to black people as well?
Yep. For all of you who don't know, after Trump won, a whole bunch of blacks in southern states got a whole bunch of tweets spewing like that they're going to be slaves again and all that. And a whole bunch of racist bullshit. FBI is getting involved too, so get bent whoever sent them. Hope you enjoyed your trolling and all that. And that's the excuse people are saying, that this is all funny and jokes. Well,
it's not.
Well, when we
it is not. It is not a joke. I can guarantee you that. These subhumans believe that.
Well, more importantly, it ain't funny. And we're going to get to the tweets tonight to see how funny they really are. Because, they're so funny. Don't you know? Also, for an extra dose, I got that racist tweet I showed you the other day, too.
Oh, you got that one, too. Well done.
All right. So, let's get this disgusting, vile garbage out of the way with the most famous of the bunch, Nick Fuentes. Oh, my gosh. And
yes, the fucking...
cat femboy.
The gay cat boy himself. Gay cat boy Nazi himself.
And before we get to this is something I actually wanted to cover but never brought up. Did you all know that, because Fuentes is a hardcore Nazi and a hardcore Trumpster, did you all know the last few months he actually dismissed Trump and actually, didn't support him anymore?
Yes, I remember that. I saw that.
Fuentes, hardcore out of nowhere, all of a sudden abandoned Trump and act like he wasn't going to win whatsoever. It was really weird, and it really was to the point where, and now all of a sudden, now he's pro-Trump and this greatest thing ever and all that, he's back on it, and Trump's the greatest on it. Nick, I'm really starting to wonder now, are you a grifter?
He is. He absolutely is.
Yes, what you did the last few months.
I think we've known that for a while.
I don't think we covered him when we did the right-wing one, but this...
We should have. Not say absolutely grifter.
Well, after this, the last 6 months, and then how you reacted after Trump won when you shat him the last several months, now I have to consider that you are indeed a grifter. That's way too obvious.
He absolutely is.
That was way too obvious.
Absolutely a grifter.
He
is absolutely a grifter.
I don't like Kamala. I voted for her and all that. I wouldn't be oh my god, Kamala's the best ever she wins. I'd be good. At least Trump's gone. I wouldn't freak out and all that the way you do. But we're getting off topic. Let's get straight to this, because this is the most common thing.
Do you expect him to have the ability to think rationally? He's a gay cat boy Nazi. What do you expect?
And a grifter.
And a grifter,
Oh boy, people. I hope you're ready for this. This is probably going to be one of the most angriest moments on Last for me. This is probably going to be more angry than any other moment I've been angry on my time. So here we go. Time to begin the bullshit. Nick Fuentes' tweet.
Yeah.
Your body, my choice, forever. And he spewed, and of course, he did a video right after Trump won, going all orgasm, saying this over and over again, all that. So for all of you who don't know what he's talking about...
that's just... Dude.
Yeah.
Well, you know that since most of them are Catholic, they're not just talking about the adult girls. They're talking about teenagers and even prepubescent girls.
Matt Walsh.
Yep, Matt Walsh, who's probably abusing it. Who's very high likelihood he's abusing at least. Because if I remember correctly, I figured out that 2 of his kids are in the age range where most of that type of abuse happens.
Yeah, so for all of you who don't know, he's making fun of the argument that us pro-choicers have. Women's bodies, their choice if they want to have an abortion or not. And of course, they're also making fun of people that saying they're not going to fuck men who are Trumpsters or not, which is fair if they don't want to. Because of the anti-choice stuff they've done afterwards. And all the vile, evil things they've done. So, he's saying that women do not...
Plus, they'd probably also rape the woman as well.
Yeah, he's saying that women do not have a choice over their bodies, not only over abortion, but sex. So if you want to rape women, it's okay towards these people. Absolutely disgusting, reprehensible, and evil. But what if I told you this might not even be the worst thing anyone said of the list of tweets I have? Nick Fuentes' tweet might be the most tame of them all, which is wild to think. So it's gonna get worse.
Okay, then I'm gonna say it now. I'm fully expecting pedophilia at this point.
Well, if you want,
I'm fully expecting there to be at least one pedophilic tweet. Whether it's just going to be the teenage ones or whether it's going to be towards prepubescent girls that can't even be on social media.
Well, if you want a little bit of a preview, go up a little bit on the tweets above the racist tweet I showed. All 4 of the tweets are right there if you want to see them right now. All right, so now let's get to the next tweet. Oh my god, this might be the worst one. So there's a Twitch streamer that tweeted out how turns out my IUD was a great choice after Trump getting elected. IUDs to prevent like pregnancy and all that. And some dipshit replied, "Don't worry, we'll just rape through the IUD."
Oh, fucking
God! What is wrong with you people? What the fuck? Does it? Didn't I tell you? Does this sound tame compared? I mean, does Fuentes sound tame in comparison now?
Yeah.
Oh my god! What the fuck is wrong with you people? This is not funny. It's wrong. It's evil. Thankfully, this guy actually got his Twitter suspended for saying this. So get fucking bent, piece of shit. Should be banned everywhere.
Dumb fuck. Yep.
Absolutely disgusting and reprehensible.
Should be fucking arrested and thrown into jail.
Threats of violence? That's a criminal offense, people. All right, let's get to the next one. This dipshit John Miller on Twitter. Women threatening sex strikes like LMAO as if you have a say on it. It was so bad. They have a community thing on here saying having sex with women without their consent is rape. His like you have a choice is endorsing rape. You're so bad. You got a community note on Twitter. Absolutely disgusting. And of course, I reported this person, and of course, Elongated Musgrave dismissed my report and all that because why not?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he wants to be one of those rapists.
Especially for his trans daughter.
Yep.
Even I can't even laugh at my joke there because it's so bad.
Yeah, so that one, no, dude. What? Hopefully, if he tries, should just shoot him dead.
Oh yeah, that's fine enough. That's
so
a lot.
And should probably get away with it too, since I think in the state she's moved to, I think in rape is actually attempted rape is actually like you can get away with it either completely or you get like a massively reduced sentence if they were trying to rape you.
And guess what? Funny enough, all these dipshits have had like tweets back by women about being having guns and all that. So save the Second Amendment actually being based for
good
one.
luck.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck. But then we get to another one, and this one is really bad too, because not only do they have Trump in the tweet, but the other person had Trump in their Twitter profile, which we'll get to in a little bit. But with Trump in the picture soon. Your body, my choice. Guys, these are Trumpsters. These are the people that voted Trump back in because Trump endorses these views. He encourages them.
He endorses rape and pedophilia.
Just like when they got rid of Roe v. Wade.
Remember that he's on the Epstein logs.
Yeah, thank you, mainstream media, for not bringing that up too. That's another reason why Trump got away with it.
Like I said, they're all in for Trump at this point. They want Trump to win. They wanted Trump to win. They got what they wanted, and they're going to work with Trump to install everything they want.
But mainstream media is too mean to him. Shut up, you.
It's all a show. It's all a. Okay, you know what? It's not just a show. It's a psyop.
But of course, fucking stupid. But yeah, guys, Trump winning encourages all of this. So thank you, all of you 74 million people that voted for Trump. You encourage this, and you're endorsing this. So fuck you.
You endorse rape and pedophilia.
And remind you all, Project 2025, they want to ban abortions, even states that made it constitutional right. They want to ban porn.
I'm pretty sure there was talk of trying to lower the age of consent to like 7.
Yeah, they want to ban birth control and all that, which over 90% of people want. And if you do that, you might start a civil war. So good on you. But you'll be the aggressors like you were the first time around, people. So yeah, these are vile, reprehensible, misogynistic, and disgusting things. And they're not funny, people. What's so funny about this? There's nothing. They're not jokes. They're not funny. They're evil. And that's why I'm not calling you people. You're animals. Because no one...
Because they are. No one with a shred of empathy would say evil scumfuck things like that.
It's pretty bad, too, because even misogynists usually don't even say this stuff. This is even low for them, pretty much. But yeah, this is absolutely unacceptable comments, and every one of you should be banned, not only on Twitter, but social media for saying this. And oh my god, this got me even thinking recently, because of course, a whole bunch of idiot like kids and all that are now going to start spewing this bullshit. What would you do now if you had a son that said this stuff?
I'd turn him into the police. I'd take him to the police. I'd take him to the police, honestly.
What if they're like kids, though?
I would actually get it there. What?
What if they're kids, though? Because I doubt the police would take them in for saying this stuff if they're kids.
I would be giving them a very stern talking to, and pointing out that if they keep going, they say this stuff that they don't look well on that sort of thing in there, and they'd probably wind up either. I don't know, like I'm not sure, but
I
would not be happy.
They would face severe consequences from Dad. That's for sure. And man, it made me really think about stuff. If I had a son that said this stuff, oh boy, they would face stuff that I would probably think I would say I would never do ever to kids, like we talked about a long time ago. They made me really think about maybe like some sort of like punishment, like spankings or something like that. Like they really do make me think about this, because I'm not gonna let you get away with saying this stuff. This is unacceptable, and you must stop saying this stuff or thinking it instantly. It's unacceptable and wrong. It's not how you treat women, or more importantly, treat people in general. Unacceptable. So yeah, disgusting and wrong. But now let's get to this is actually just as yikesy, but it's also kind of funny at the same time. So of course, this was one of the replies I got to someone on Twitter about like how bad Trump was. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I got the picture. So the guy said, "So what group of people do you think are stupid? Let's look at the facts." And and they showed a very racist stereotype of an African tribe member with an IQ of 65 and comparing them to a freaking gorilla with an 85 IQ. And then they're showing IQ of several African countries that are even lower than the 65 IQ stereotype. This guy is comparing blacks in Africa to apes and using the IQ argument. Just blatant racism.
IQ is one of the worst measurements you could possibly have for the intelligence. One of the absolute worst.
And by the way, do you see their Twitter profile is Trump after he got his first assassination attempt? Because they're Trumpsters. And Trumpsters are racists and misogynists. And they endorse rape. Because Trump is an evil man.
Pedophilia.
And that's why you don't ever support Trump, because he's a vile piece of shit. And he's a moron. He's stupid. And then all of you that brought him back in because the economy's bad, just wait till he makes it worse, and then you're all going to have to eat shit for it. And we're going to be like, we told you so.
Good thought. Look forward to 30 to 50% inflation and a depression when he puts the tariffs in, and then China responds with 20,000% tariffs.
We could have had base things if you all just elected Kamala, but nope, you're too stupid. So yeah, what do you guys say about all the Twitter BS that I've had to see after Trump wins?
Thanks, elongated Musgrave.
Yep. And
you're the reason for this. And also, considering that you endorsed it.
And also,
I'm going to check something. I'm going to check something here.
And also, something else I've been thinking about too is, to any like young men that are watching, that are like Gen Z and all that might think all this is funny and all that, stop. It's not. It's wrong. Because I know a lot of you are watching.
Oh.
What?
Oh.
What? What?
Is it any surprise to you that Elon Musk may have been involved with Epstein?
No. I mean, this is the person who hates his trans daughter. Remember?
Elon Musk may have had. There's been some subpoenas a while ago, and there may be connections between Elon Musk and Jeffrey Epstein.
Again, are you surprised?
No.
But yeah, of course, piece of shit. Well, I'm not surprised. Maybe that's why he's just a Nazi every moment and hates his trans kid and all that. So, yeah, as I was saying, to all you young men that might be watching Andrew Tate and all these dipshit, evil, far-right cunts online, all that, stop. These people are bad. They're bad.
They do not have your best interests at heart.
They are bad influence on you. They teach you to treat women with nothing but hatred, and that is the reason why you're all a bunch of incels and all that. Like, I understand. I've been fucked over by women too in the past with my ex and all that. I know how it feels, but that doesn't mean you
go to
women.
therapy. Therapy is good, and in fact, accepting that you need help is one of the manliest things you can do.
But that's just effeminate woke crap, remember? Fucking idiots. Like, if you listen to people like Andrew Tate and all them, you're gonna turn off women completely, as you should be turning off them, because that's disgusting how you treat them. You treat them with respect and kindness, and not think about trying to fuck them every single moment, because they're real, they're normal people just like you that have interests too. That's the best time to fuck is when you earn it and all that, instead of just expecting all the time, people. So but yeah, of course, like we said, I'm going to tell you this right now, if we were your dads, oh boy, you'd be in so much trouble. You're banned from you'd be banned from watching these fuckers, and you're going to get real severe punishment from it. And we made that abundantly clear. Oh my god. So yeah, absolutely disgusting comments. I hope all of them get banned eventually. So now, I guess, on to the next episode.
You mean topic?
Yeah.
And that is Karen Kasparian versus Cenk Uygur on Trump being a fascist.
I can actually laugh again at Karen Kasparian. I can actually laugh for once. Oh, thank goodness. So, of course, Karen Kasparian had another complete Karen meltdown again that was so bad that she even got Cenk, of all people, freaking Cenk, to be against her. And we know how much he defends her. They went at it with each other, and it was glorious to actually see the brown buffalo actually be based for once. So let's watch Karen Kasparian being a giant cunt again.
Notion of a fascist, because look, if we're just going to use fascist toward anyone we dislike.
And by the way, the last topic we're going to cover, how fascist is Trump? We got the 14 points, so we're going to show you how fascist he is, people.
And the line I looked around, and the absolute minimum, the lowest number I've heard on anything reputable, is 11 of the 14.
I remember
11.
And the funny thing is, I actually looked it up the other day. I've counted up to like at least 13 of them.
So yes, we can. So yeah, we only need one.
And the one
we only need one more. We can say yes, he is a fascist.
Well, complete one. And the funny thing is, the one I thought he wasn't. It was more like maybe somewhat, but not fully. But the other ones, yeah, he is. So the one he's least bad on, he still potentially could be.
You want me to say? You want me to say wannabe dictator?
Sure, you can say wannabe dictator, but I don't even think he wants to be a dictator.
Of course he does. That's what you do when you lose an election.
He does. Yeah, Anna, he does.
He does.
Now, will he succeed or not? I'm not as certain of. But he is going. He wants to, and he's going to give it a try.
Fake electors, and I'd like to terminate the Constitution and bring out the tanks and use martial law against American citizens and shoot
being base.
I mean, if that's not fascist, then I guess the word just shouldn't exist.
Anna.
But was he able to do those things?
Trump's
his rhetoric is awful.
Okay, if
Trump's incompetent. The only reason he wasn't able to was because he's incompetent.
Oh, that reminds me too. That's another thing I forgot about talking about the benefit. I mean, the optimism about Trump coming in is that he is so stupid he might not be able to do anything he wants because he doesn't know what he's doing and he'll piss off people. And he's a kiss ass whoever he talks to last. So if you get the right person, you could probably make him do like left wing things potentially. Like it's not all doom and gloom.
That'd be fun.
Because Trump is so freaking stupid that he might not be able to do anything he wants.
The only potential major issue is who he is staffed with are competent.
And one of the people,
so probably more them than him.
There is one possible good thing to one issue I heard. His potential, one of the people he might look up to be his Secretary of Defense, I think it was, is hardcore pro-Ukraine.
Nice.
An actual Republican that's pro-Ukraine and shits on every single Russian talking point against him. So that would be like probably the only good thing I could think of. Another option may be bringing back Mike Pompeo or Marco Rubio, which, as crazy as it sounds, those neocons are not insane compared to MAGA people. Imagine a world where Pompeo and Rubio might be like, oh, please pick them. That's insane. Oh,
yeah, that's insane.
And another thing, too, is I heard he might not potentially have RFK Jr.'s administration because he doesn't pass vaccine requirements.
That would be hysterical!
How stupid are you, man? RFK, how dumb are you?
Back to the White House. Oh, that is amazing!
So we might avoid RFK because he's an idiot. Let's go.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
Oh my
Not that
goodness.
hard. Not that hard. Oh, here, let me have
Love
dinner
that.
with Nick Fuentes, who's a Nazi, Kanye, who's a Nazi, and let me say there's good people on the Nazi side. Oh, it could be pro-Confederate guys. Might be guys who are pro-slavery who are good guys. Let me do all of these things. Let me say that immigrants are poisoning the blood of our nation, a Nazi term that is only used in the past by Nazis. And then
Trump.
Say, I'm going to ban Muslims, I'm going to do this and this and this to all the other ethnic groups, and then go, oh, I can't believe you called me a fascist. No, he is a fascist. I'm very happy to call him a fascist.
Boo-hoo, he's a fascist.
All right. All right, I'm not going to get back into it.
Damn, Anna got chanked that trigger and he can't even reply.
Listen, I've had my disagreements with Cenk Uygur in the past, but I really felt for him there. Because the argument that his co-host, Anna Kasparian, was making was downright absurd. And it was difficult for him to grapple with the fact that...
Yeah, it's amazing because, like we said, Cenk always defends Anna. So when he goes after Anna, you know Karen Anna Kasparian must have screwed up. Like, he never goes after her. And then all of a sudden he did.
She was making that bad of an argument. And to be clear, I don't necessarily think that she believes what she's saying. I think that she's saying what she thinks is going to get her applause from her new buddies on the right. But what she's saying is downright absurd, regardless if she believes it or not. To deny that Donald Trump is a fascist in 2024 is to basically deny reality. It's as absurd to me as denying gravity or germ theory or climate change. It's like saying the earth is flat. Because by every reasonable metric, Donald Trump, objectively speaking, is a fascist. And a plurality of Americans rightfully acknowledge that he is a fascist. That's according to a new poll where 44% of them say, yes, he is a fascist. Why? Because he's a fascist. Out of all of the criteria for fascism, he checks almost all of the boxes. Not all of them, but almost all of the...
Well, we'll see about that. We'll see about that when we get to it.
boxes. And to be fair, fascism is really difficult to describe, unlike other political labels like conservative or like liberal, because fascism is better understood as a criteria of things. But when you look at the criteria, which we will do, it's easy to see that Donald Trump is obviously a fascist. And I don't like this notion that the left is just flippantly attributing that label to politicians that they don't like, because that's not what we're doing. I don't like Mitt Romney at all, but I don't think that he's a fascist, right? I don't like Liz Cheney.
He's a social conservative. That's fascism to me.
Liz Cheney is a fascist. Most of the Republican Party can be described as fascist, but there are some Republicans, some conservatives, who are not explicitly fascistic. We're not just cavalierly applying that label to people we don't like. Fascism means something.
All right, you were the one who...
But to her, she thinks we're just, I guess, being unfair to Donald Trump. Now, she expanded on this, so Christina, a longtime friend of Anna Kasparian and fan of TYT, wrote, "This is what consuming right-wing media does to a person on the so-called left." Anna then responded to that saying, "I don't support Trump. I also don't think it's helpful to call him a fascist or a Nazi. Those words actually mean something beyond not liking a candidate." That's ironic for her to say. "I also don't think listening to or reading the perspectives of conservative voters is a flaw or something I should feel ashamed of." Well, I mean, you should.
I mean, you can read them all you want and explain why they're wrong, but okay.
But if it rots your brain, she adds later on, "Okay, fine, I'll bite. Fascism requires a militarized citizenry, conquest and imperialism, the elimination of our governing bodies like Congress, and the notion that anyone who isn't part of the master race should be massacred. Weird thing to label a guy."
Let's see. Militarized citizenry? Yep. Conquest and imperialism? He does want that.
Yep.
elimination of government bodies, Project 2025, and notion of, and anyone who isn't part of the master race should be massacred. Yep. So he's so far done all those.
About not starting any new wars.
Weird thing to label a guy who brags about not starting any war. He's a liar, Anna. Come on. You know he's a liar.
Also passed criminal justice reform and personally pardoned black inmates who were serving life sentences for drug crimes who Obama was unwilling to pardon. But I'm the fucking stupid one. Okay.
So he passed a criminal justice reform and pardoned black inmates. Yeah, does that warrant negating all the stuff he said beforehand? To me, no, it doesn't negate it.
Now let's just stay on this tweet for a minute because
doesn't even close to do that. It's pretty terrible.
A few good things he does not override the overwhelmingly bad things he did. This is like with Hitler, for crying out loud.
The criteria for fascism in order to prove this bullshit centrist point that she's trying to make. But even by her own limited definition of fascism, Trump very clearly meets that criteria. Fascism requires militarized citizenry. Well, why are there pro-Trump militias like the Proud Boys who are intimidating voters at the ballot box, who are intimidating LGBTQ plus people outside of drag shows? These are his supporters.
Intimidating interracial couples on the street.
Yeah, they harass gay and trans organization, whatever, until they have guns, then they back off.
So we're doing that. Conquest and imperialism.
You don't like the Second Amendment now when
Donald
she's against
Trump
you.
was an imperialist. He's
they've never liked the Second Amendment regarding minorities. Remember? That's why they
conservatives.
That's why. Oh yeah, they hate everything about everyone that isn't them.
Conservatives hate when liberals and progressives use the Second Amendment.
Undeal. He increased drone strikes by more than 400%. He used the mother of all bombs in Afghanistan. And then there's the elimination of our...
Remember one to start war with, let's see, I'm keep forgetting the list. Mexico, Syria, Iran, North Korea, China, Russia at the time. I think I said Mexico. Like, I ran off all the countries. He did threaten war with so many of them.
For governing bodies. And she says, like Congress. Now, it's interesting that she tries to use Congress as an example because if Trump actually does implement Schedule F through Project 2025, then it would lead to the elimination of governing bodies in the executive branch. He wants to consolidate power and destroy the administrative state. This would remove checks and balances, not to mention
and also it's unconstitutional, so good luck getting that done. It's not going to be that simple. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, because this would get rid of, like, the Congress and Senate. That would mean all those Republicans in power would lose their jobs and all that. You think they're going to support you?
Exactly.
And they're the majority now. So this is more likely, this might be like one of the few things where all Republicans would most likely be against Trump then, because they're going to lose their power, and they don't want that at all.
He wants to get rid of the Department of Education and the IRS, but he didn't say Congress, so according to Anna Kasparian, he doesn't check that box. Now there's another one here. This notion that anyone who isn't part of a master race should be massacred. So according to Anna Kasparian, he can use eliminationist rhetoric, talk about mass deportation, which would require a militarized police force rounding up immigrants and placing them in militarized camps, since our jails can't house 12 to 14 million people.
If it doesn't work with crushing Palestinians using the law, we'll just use the military and do some massacres.
Since he didn't say I want to massacre them explicitly, then he doesn't check that box, according to Anna Kasparian. Yeah, I don't think that she actually believes this. I think that
he doesn't tick through it, but he ticks like inside it.
Lying or being purposefully disingenuous or perhaps denying the reality to herself. But I feel like she's too smart to make an argument this fucking stupid. I'm sorry, I don't buy it. But it's not the first time that she's minimized Donald Trump's threat because back when she covered a video on Project 2025, she also bought Trump's bullshit about him not being associated with Project 2025. Let's listen.
And like, I hesitate to even bring this up because people are hell-bent on being scared about Project 2025. But let me just be clear about something. There are all sorts of allegations about the Heritage Foundation's document, which again, they release every election cycle. This is the first...
I don't think it's this extreme.
Not this one. Not this one.
And
no.
And I don't recall them doing like a Project 2021 and all that. I would.
No, they didn't.
And we covered last at the time, so I think we would have known about it. But yeah.
Time we have the Democratic Party specifically tying it to Donald Trump because some of the people associated with the Heritage Foundation used to be in Trump's administration. Okay, does that mean that Trump is... You think Trump respects anyone who is in his administration? But okay.
It's still a concern, Anna. And I'm sure
you'll probably... we need to watch for.
And I'm sure you'll probably be like, Trump denounced and all that. I don't care. No, I don't trust or believe him. Ever. I will never trust or believe Trump like anything he says.
Now, I find that argument very curious because
you're an idiot if you ever
the Heritage
believe what
Foundation
Trump says,
always has a mandate for leadership. Project 2025 is no different. It might be more explicit and more authoritarian, but it's one of many policy lists. It's basically a wish list that they offer to presidents. Now, when Trump was president, the Heritage Foundation applauded him for carrying out a majority of their legislative agenda. But Anna Kasparian is expecting us all to believe Donald Trump when he says he knows nothing about Project 2025.
He knows.
He knows everything about it.
Even though the people who wrote it are in his administration, and his running mate, J.D. Vance, wrote the foreword to the book of the president of the Heritage Foundation, who's also the architect of Project 2025, and wrote the foreword for Project 2025. So either Anna Kasparian lost her fucking mind and adopted extremely stupid arguments, perhaps, as Christina said, because she's been consuming right-wing slop now for a year or so, or she's just saying what she thinks her right-wing pals want to hear.
Right.
So
things that
I think it's probably the latter.
Ben Shapiro want.
I don't know if we mentioned this, but did you know recently Sargon Fraser turned to the right now? I can't believe Sargon's still on Twitter. What a piece of shit.
And look, I used to scoff at this idea.
I can't believe he's still around.
Anna
It's one of those names where
was
it's
going
like...
to be like Dave Rubin. I thought that she just had some blind
it's
spots.
Like
but I actually think she's probably like a week or so away from
Steve
calling herself a classical liberal at this point.
I thought he disappeared in about 2019. Nope. All these guys are still around.
To avoid this type of drama bullshit, I do think that it's important to talk about this because it's a teachable moment. And even though Anna Kasparian might not be able to be reached at this point, there are still people who think that it's hyperbolic to call Donald Trump a fascist. So let's look at the criteria for fascism. But before we do that, let me just recommend Jason Stanley's book called How Fascism Works. He talks.
I think it's interesting. Looks like Mike is going to go for the exact same thing we were going to do as the final topic. So maybe we can wrap up right here then.
About fascists of the past and present, including Donald Trump. And if you read that book, you will come away with a comprehensive understanding of fascist tactics and why what we're seeing currently is fascism. But without further ado, let's look at the criteria. There's a couple of different criteria that we're going to go towards, but here's one that I found.
Yep, this is the exact list on Wikipedia I found, people. The 14 signs of fascism.
This is basically just generalized criteria that I found from Keene College. So, first and foremost, fascism is powerful, often exclusionary populist nationalism centered on a cult of a redemptive, infallible leader who never admits mistakes.
One right there. Trump has a cult. He's a populist and a racist nationalist, and he thinks he's never wrong. So one right off the bat already.
That sounds kind of familiar. Number 2, political power derived from questioning reality, endorsing myth and rage, and promoting lies.
2 right there. He is desperate for power. He endorses lies, myths, and rages all the time and questions reality. So, number 2 right there.
That sounds a little bit familiar.
That's 2 down.
Number 3, fixation with perceived national decline, humiliation, or victimhood.
Yep, number 3.
Trump 100% right there. He does that all the time.
He calls America a shithole all the time, and that we're victims and humiliated and all that. So that's number 3 now.
Number 4, white replacement theory used to show that democratic ideals of freedom and equality are a threat. Oppose any initiatives or institutions that are racially, ethnically, or religiously harmonious.
Number 4, he believes in white replacement theory.
100%. He believes in the white genocide theory. He's opposed. He'll say he'll abolish all DEI and anything.
Civil rights are woke.
Yep, get rid of civil rights. So let's try to get rid of civil rights and interracial marriage.
So far, he's 4 of 4.
Number 5, disdain for human rights while seeking purity and cleansing for those they define as part of the nation.
That's 5.
That's 5.
Mass deportation of immigrants.
He
wants and everyone who doesn't agree with him.
He wants to kick out
and building gas chambers on the border.
So damn, 5 of 5 already. Goodness, he's got a streak going. Man, you should be going to the NFL then.
Let's see how far that streak goes, and then discuss 6, one point that might not be, that maybe not.
Oh, I just noticed there's a 15 on here, so this has even more options than the 14.
Oh!
Interesting.
Of enemies / scapegoats as a unifying cause. Imprison.
Wait, Oh yeah, we did
Yep,
5.
that's another one.
Oh, hang on, let me reply. I thought we were still on 5.
Identification of enemies for those they define as part of the nation. Number 6, identification of enemies/scapegoats as a unifying cause, imprison and or murder opposition and minority group leaders.
Yep, number 6. He thinks everyone disagrees with him are enemies of the nation, which he said about Democrats. I'm an enemy of the nation, people. Let's go.
Yep.
And wants to kill and murder them.
That's all he does as well.
So that's 6.
But I'm sure Anna would argue that he needs to explicitly say that he wants to massacre his opponents. Otherwise, you don't get to check out this box. Number 7, supremacy of the military and embrace of paramilitarism in an uneasy but effective collaboration with traditional elite fascists arm people and justify and glorify violence as redemptive.
This actually might be the one I was a little bit like, I'm not fully sure on, but yeah, you brought up the Proud Boys, so yeah, that is number 7 now.
Yes.
Yep.
That's 7.
And he glorifies violence and redemption, so damn, one more win
That's
and you
7-7.
One more win and you tie the Chiefs, who are undefeated still in the NFL.
Number 8, rampant sexism.
Oh, that's obvious, rampant sexism.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Like, today was perfect with that.
Yep, and we saw how misogynistic he is. Yep, rampant sexism.
Yep.
So that's 8 of 8.
Yep.
Number 9, control of mass media and undermining truth.
Yep.
This one's a this one's a little bit up in the air because he doesn't have control of the mainstream media except his cult and all that, but he does undermine the truth.
Okay, remember when he said that he wants to open up the libel laws to them?
Yep.
He's also said I would say yes. He may not have it yet, but you can tell that is his goal. And also remember, corporate media is all in for him.
Yep.
So I would argue yes. And this is the weakest one, but yes, this one does qualify.
And it also remind me too, he wants to get rid of like credentials to like mainstream media outlets that are mean to him.
Yep.
So he wants to not let them talk to him and all that. So yeah,
that's 9 from 9.
Hey Chiefs, your 8-0 record's getting topped right now. Hope you enjoy your chance at three-peat now. Better hope Trump's not in the AFC.
Number 10, obsession with national security, crime and punishment, and fostering a sense of the nation.
10-0 now, people. Obsessed with national security and thinks the nation's being invaded, like all you conservatives always do. So damn, 10 of 10.
Under attack. Number 11, religion and government are intertwined.
Yep, that's not. Yep, that's number 11.
That's definitely one. Yep.
Trying
that's
to undermine.
That's 11 for 11.
Yeah, I'm trying to undermine secularism and separation of church and state.
Yep.
Damn, 11-0.
This is the goal of Project 2025, which she denies Trump.
Ban abortion, ban porn, force Christianity on people who don't like it. So yep.
Has any association with. Number 12, corporate power is protected and labor is suppressed.
That's 12. He wants to have corporations to fuck over labor. So that's 12-0.
Absolutely.
5 more and you're undefeated.
That is how Trump governed as president. Number 13, disdain for intellectuals and the arts not aligned with the fascist narrative.
Yep. I don't know about...
Yep, that does that a lot as well.
I don't know about the arts because I don't think Trump gives a shit about art because he's such an idiot. But
it doesn't. But there's a lot of
fascists.
There's a lot of people in his sphere who do, and he probably. I'll tell you what, he doesn't. There's just that there because he doesn't want it to be around a thing.
And of course, he does hate intellectuals because they're smart in him. So that's definitely number 13 right there. And his base does want to ban like based anime and all that, except all the hentai involving raping maids.
This is why we see so much screeching about pop culture and woke media and whatnot. Number 14, rampant cronyism and corruption. Loyalty to the leader is paramount and often more important than...
this is number 14.
That's all 14! That's 14 of 14!
There's still more coming though. Now there's a 16 one coming up. But yeah,
rampant... Oh, wow!
Yep. So he's rampant corruption, and he's demanding people to be loyal to him. This is like a very obvious one. So that's 14. Freeborn, you're undefeated before the playoffs.
Competence. Number 15, fraudulent elections and creation of a one-party state.
Yep, he wants that. He tried to do it with 2020.
He wants that. Yep, that's 15 of 15.
Number 16, often seeking to expand territory through armed conflict. This was
Well,
yep.
He
China,
does want
Iran.
This one, yes, he does want armed conflict. Although I don't think he wants to take over like territories. He'll probably do like the American imperial.
Remember, he did take a third of Syria and then hand a chunk of it over to Al Qaeda.
Mm-hmm. But not like American territory. But yeah, he would definitely invade stuff and all that. So damn, 16
like
of
Mexico.
16
was one of the criteria that Anna Kasparian laid out. Now you don't have.
Oh, I guess he can't go 17-0, but he got all of them though.
That's all of them. Yeah, so yeah, he's a fascist.
So eat shit, Trumpsters. He is a fascist. You voted for a fascist because you're morons. And all the 74 million of you, you're just stupid and all that.
Have to
There's a big chunk of those 74 million who are also fascists.
Box to be considered a fascist. But if you check most of the boxes, or at a minimum half the boxes,
as we've said, he checks all of them.
That you can sufficiently say, yes, the individual in question is a fascist. Now,
and then dumb leftists will be like, oh yeah? How about Kamala and Democrats? I bet they'll hit 17 or more.
How many of those
How many would they
characteristics
actually
that we just read sound
Maybe we need to look at Kamala again later on and see.
like Donald Trump?
Yeah, and see how many the Democrats do.
Yeah, and the characteristics of fascism are also some of the warning signs of fascism, and that's what you'd see if you go to the Holocaust Museum, because they have this list of warning signs shared by Redditor FTT, and they lay it out pretty clearly, and it sounds a lot like the characteristics we just read, but let's go through it again. Powerful and continuing nationalism, disdain for human rights, identification of enemies as a unifying cause, supremacy of the military, rampant sexism, controlled mass media, obsession with national security, religion and government intertwined, corporate power protected, labor power suppressed, disdain for intellectuals and the arts, obsession with crime and punishment, rampant cronyism and corruption.
Again, Trump
These are
matches
all
every single one of
attributable
them.
to Donald Trump.
He matches every single one of them.
And this is from the Holocaust Museum, so they know fascism when they see it firsthand. So maybe accept when they tell you that.
Go through the criteria for fascism and tell her viewers with a straight face that this doesn't apply to Donald Trump. It would be absurd. That's why Cenk was so frustrated. Because to think that, oh, well, Trump can't be a fascist or he doesn't want to be a dictator because he
Armenian genocide until 2017
is such an absurd argument that I can't not deduce that Anna Kasparian is straight up.
We know that by September 2017 he accepted the Armenian genocide because he literally compared the Rohingya genocide to the Armenian genocide, despite what dumb fucks on Twitter would say.
Anna, how are you worse than Cenk on this? Come on.
Yeah, that's a bit of a miracle.
At least he changed.
Well, we know why she's so bad. It's because she's snuggling up to a new boyfriend, Ben Shapiro.
And probably Sargon for a freeway.
There's no way she believes this. She's just too smart. But I do want to go through another set of criteria for fascism. This one is from Umberto Eco. And he says, number one, it's a cult of tradition. One has only to look at the syllabus of every fascist movement to find the major traditional thinkers. The Nazi gnosis was nourished by traditionalist, syncretistic, occult elements. The rejection of modernism. The Enlightenment, the Age of Reason, is seen as the beginning of modern depravity. In this sense, your fascism can be defined as irrationalism. The cult of action for action's sake. Action being beautiful in itself. It must be taken before or without any previous.
Actually, now that I'm looking at this is the actual 14 list that I posted on the server. The actual one.
Reflection.
Hey, here we go. So he's already
Disagreement is
3 from 3.
treason. The critical spirit makes distinctions, and to distinguish is a sign of modernism. In modern culture, the scientific community praises disagreement as a way to improve knowledge. Fear of difference. The first appeal of a fascist or prematurely fascist movement is an appeal against the intruders. Thus, your fascism is racist by definition. This is how Trump launched his entire presidential campaign in 2015.
It's the Mexicans.
Moving on,
rapists,
appeal to
killers,
social frustration.
some
Most
good
typical
people.
features of the historical fascism was the appeal to a frustrated middle class, a class suffering from an economic crisis or feelings of political humiliation and frightened by the pressure of lower social groups. The obsession with the plot. The followers must feel besieged. The easiest way to solve the plot is to appeal to xenophobia. The enemy is both weak and strong. The followers must be convinced that they can overwhelm the enemies.
Yep, that's something that wasn't brought up on that 16-point list. But yeah, saying that the enemies are both weak and strong at the same time, like they said about Biden.
Big one.
Like they said, Biden was a brain-dead old man,
Yep,
but controls everything at the same
also
time.
Dark Brandon.
Thus, by a continuous shifting of rhetorical focus, the enemies are at the same time too strong and too weak. Pacifism is trafficking with the enemy. For your fascism, there is no struggle for life, but rather life is lived for struggle. Contempt for the weak. Elitism is a typical aspect of any reactionary ideology. Everybody is educated to become a hero. In your fascist ideology, heroism is the norm. The cult of heroism is strictly linked with the cult of death, machismo, and weaponry. This is the origin of machismo, which implies both disdain for women and intolerance and condemnation of non-standard sexual habits, from chastity to homosexuality. Since even sex is a difficult game to play, the your fascist hero tends to play with weapons. Doing so becomes an ersatz phallic exercise. Selective populism. There is in our future a TV or internet populism in which the emotional response of a selected group of citizens can be presented and accepted as the voice of the people. Your fascism speaks newspeak. All the Nazi or fascist schoolbooks made use of an impoverished vocabulary and an elementary syntax in order to limit the instruments for complex and
pretty regularly. So Trump, he qualifies all 14. He is a fascist.
Man, undefeated this long. Goodness, that's a dynasty in the NFL you're talking about. Trump, congratulations on no effort.
Again, you can argue whether or not he checks
Were you
certain
playing
boxes,
Madden on
but
rookie difficulty?
Probably. He probably was.
Trump, were you running up the score like 100-0 because it's so easy to do on pro difficulty? Come on. I've won 4 Super Bowls on my Falcons all-pro difficulty franchise. I actually worked for my 4 Super Bowls, unlike you. You're probably one who would get debt. And of course, you probably mock me because my QB fumbled away a Super Bowl in my first season.
A lot of boxes, more than half of the boxes. And when you step back and you look at the criteria for fascism, if you still think that Donald Trump is not a fascist, then...
Desmond Miller, why did you do that?
You're just denying reality. Now, you can try to narrow the definition of fascism, as Anna Kasparian did, to, I guess, try to sanitize Donald Trump, but the fact remains that Donald Trump is a fascist, objectively speaking.
That's
not subjectively speaking.
Ask Anna Kasparian how she does that. Ask her boyfriends how they do that.
She'd probably be like, I would, but I'm too busy having an orgy right now.
Fascist, objectively speaking. This is what political scientists have concluded. This is what historians have concluded. This is what 44% of Americans have concluded, because they have eyes. You don't have to.
That's what we've concluded.
And remember, all like the previous generals and people in Trump's administration.
They called him a fascist as well.
Yep, Milley and all them. They told you all. They warned you all beforehand. And I would think they're smart enough to know what they see when they see it, as we covered in the last episode. So when they say it, maybe you need to just take them seriously.
Be well versed in history or political science to deduce that Trump is a fascist. If you just see what he's saying and hear what he's saying, and you know anything about history or fascism,
and what he's done,
pretty obvious. So the fact that
guys, there's no argument. He is a fascist. Just accept it for what it is.
Exactly.
Why can't you just accept it? It's overwhelmingly obvious.
Because they don't know, they don't care, and a lot of them are fascists themselves. They just don't want to admit it.
Kasparian is denying this.
At least Fuentes is like, yes, I'm a Nazi.
Yeah, at least
yes, I'm a gay catboy Nazi.
At least Fuentes is brave enough to actually admit it. But of course, seeing how he acted recently, I don't know if I can call him brave anymore. He might just be a grifter.
Left for
he's brave. Well, he's braver than most of the others.
Is a new low for her, but it's something that was entirely predictable.
What the others are thinking. So
just the trajectory that she's on. And I wouldn't be surprised if she goes further in her defenses of Donald Trump, which is too sad to
you guys
think
hanging
about.
out
But
with JQ Rowling.
I think I even
the next year or so.
I think I even tweeted her. I wouldn't be surprised if you voted for Trump this time around.
Yeah,
because you're that dumb. Maybe I should have made a joke about her about birthing people and make her mad. Hey Anna, hey, here's a story because we're gonna wrap up the video. Hey, Anna, you want to hear what I did the day after the election? I had to go to Salisbury to get my ID renewed. And when I had to get renewed, guess what the things I had to answer? You want to know what it is?
Birthing person or not?
Am I male, female, non-binary? Don't ask. Oh, you know how hard it was, Anna? I hit male, done. Next part. It was that simple.
Yep.
So
and not have a minute-long freak out about it.
All it took 2 clicks, done. Maybe you're not as secure in your gender identity like I am, Anna.
Oh.
Of course, I'm gonna be
Get the transvestigators onto her.
Maybe I'm a misogynist for saying that too. You fucking idiot. So yeah, what do you guys say about Karen Kasparian being a complete cunt and making Chank of all people the reasonable one? You made the brown buffalo.
That is a feat.
You made the giant brown buffalo the reasonable one now. How do you do it, Karen? How? Oh my god.
Because she's a Karen, that's how.
Careful, buddy. She's gonna call the cops on you for that and say you're gonna speak to your manager.
I am the manager.
And she'll probably call you a racial slur too.
If she can, if she can detect that like 6.25% South Pacific Islander I have in me.
She'll just call you the N-word for the hell of it. You're closer to Aboriginals, close enough.
Actually, did you know the irony? Is that I'm pretty confident in saying the Australian Aboriginal is probably one of the only racial groups I don't have a drop of blood of in me.
She'll find an excuse, remember?
Yes, she will.
Alright, guys. So that is all the topics. How about that? One topic combined to another. Thank you, Mike, for making it quicker and easier for us.
Mike, that was good.
That was a very funny way to wrap it up and all that. So yeah, guys, never give up. We're gonna beat Trump's ass. We're gonna take over everything in 2026 and 2028. But we gotta get progressives in people. And hopefully,
we gotta overthrow the corporate Democrats and get rid of them.
And hopefully, in 2 weeks, before Thanksgiving, we'll have some even funnier topics to lighten up the mood before the orangutan comes back. So see you all next time for episode 116.
116. Woo!